I'm used to hardships.
Oh, we're live, guys.
We're live.
Hi, folks. Nick Tucker here with Nerd Bacon. Right now, Luke is having
That's
Luke
right.
is having every kind of technical problem known to man, and we're just gonna skate on through. We've got a great panel like we always have. We've got some stuff we definitely want to talk about, and we definitely.
Yes.
All right,
was
folks.
automatic?
As soon as the videos start to interrupt me again, we just
Go.
mash the mute button and speak over the electro, and we can keep this going for a while. But before we get into what I've been up to, let's start. We have a huge announcement we have to discuss before anything else happens. Yesterday was Pedro's birthday. Now, I've got something special in the works for Pedro. It'll be a little late, but I do have a surprise for Pedro that I am working on.
Bring on the dancing girls.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude. The thing is, like, my birthday synchronized clocks with Panamanian Mardi Gras Carnavales.
Oh my God!
So I was drinking since Friday up until yesterday, and yeah, it was not good. I'm feeling 49 today. Let's just say that.
I got you.
Nothing like testing your resistance to alcohol.
Oh, dude, it was horrible. And the things like it's drinking in the sun, and they have like those like gas tankers, but they fill it with water, so they hose people down, so you can keep on drinking. Like it's nice, but it's dirty, but it's a lot of fun. And it's 4 days of that.
Stuff like that is why I do the sober thing in part. And T-Bunny, I know you're in the chat. We are having in the back room. We're having technical difficulties. So if you want to let yourself in, my brother. But so Pedro's been celebrating his birthday. Randy, what have you been up to?
Working. Just working on Arrow Comics.
Oh, nice.
It's been good. Finished off revision to a print file. It changed the Facebook page around a little bit, put up a new header, and did a video that's over on the Arrow Comics YouTube channel that is getting all sorts of hits right now, where we're talking about what we've done so far, and it's just looking at growth. So
that's awesome.
So I'm making notes for a project that Russ Leach and I are working on. So
nice.
That's been a lot of fun.
And we've pulled our man Craig back from. He's got the headphones then going, because I saw the nod, and it's like, I know that man has switched over to another channel and is listening to some smooth jazz or something, or like thrash metal. It either takes really mellow music or absolute wreck of destruction to get that much zen off of someone's face. So, how you doing today, Craig? And what have you been up to?
I'm doing really good. I'm kind of in an interesting spot where all the artwork's done, all the like my book's complete, print file's finished. It's just a matter of getting it all together and getting it to a printer. So,
see, that's what I love to hear. Folks are creating and they're getting the stuff out, and that's what we're about. I've reached a point of annoyance on two major fronts that I want to talk about. First off, I'll be short because they don't deserve much of our time. I've been watching my Twitter blow up with people whining about this or that, and I realized that, guys, the mainstream comic industry right now, the only way they're getting people to talk about because people don't care is bait. It's literally that they are masterfully baiting all over comics. You get what I'm saying here?
I was just going to say something exactly like that, a little different.
Exactly.
They're masturbators. Yeah.
They're masturbators. Yeah, they're masturbators.
And the more we spend our time whining, the less time we're not putting out tropical magics. We're not putting out the entire Arrow line. And you guys need to follow Craig, because what he's been doing is just incredible. This is making stuff. Now, I could put salty game designer on my name today if I were so, because I have found out that both Facebook and Twitter, basically since I took over Brian K. Morris's show, I've been doing a lot of promotion and helping people get their message out there. Well, apparently the powers that be despise that. Mm-hmm. And Luke and I actually had a marketing meeting yesterday to talk about what's going on with the hybrids campaign, because we've been involved in a lot, watched and been around. And he asked me, well, why aren't you talking about it? Very, very politely, but why aren't you? Like, I talk about it every day. What do you mean? I don't see anything. Mm-hmm. And he went to my profile, and you can see, oh my God, he is talking about this all over the place. But I am so throttled down that they don't want me getting the message out. It's like I'm being shadow banned across the whole sphere. Like, Indiegogo's like, wait, no, he's involved with those Fund My Comic guys.
So what they've done, and I've noticed it, like you can link Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, like the big five, and you can link those just fine. But the minute you start linking external links, like say an Arrow comic store or other stuff like that, and they start picking up that you have external links to external links, they start shadow banning you. They won't admit it, but that's what's happening. So it's all those links you're sharing around. Yeah.
See, I have this theory, and good morning, Bunny. Mm-hmm. After I get through with this, love your subtitle, by the way. I'll fire off and we'll hear what you're up to. But it gets me. Yeah. Because I believe what Zuckerberg wants to do is he wants Facebook to be the internet. Mm-hmm. And for a little while there, he almost succeeded. And I'm going to tell you guys, there's some shocking things out there called bookmarks, where you can find the websites we tell you about, bookmark them, and then periodically go to them without needing to make Google tell you where to go. Because I will tell you what, if you use Google on somebody else's computer and you do the same search, you will get radically different results. All your media is becoming increasingly tailored and focused. And I find it funny because the same thing happens when you YouTube what your suggestions are, even if you turn stuff off, what they show you. But I watch YouTube with my wife and my son, and because of the way my system's set up, we all watch the same YouTube. So they know, unless you know exactly what a channel's about, don't click on it, because some of it might be a little spicier. But
so to give people an idea,
literally getting schizophrenia ads because the algorithm thinks I have multiple personalities. I'm not kidding. I get bombarded with schizophrenia ads because my interests are like, okay, we're going to watch a whole bunch of Minecraft videos with my son. And then I'm going to watch Brandon Herrera, say inappropriate things about firearms. And then, a whole bunch of Bob Ross art and chill music. And then all this comic book creation. And then Mandy's watching her stuff that gets real interesting real fast. I'm not going to bust my wife's viewing habits out, but...
Well, don't do that.
Right. Before we get into anything else, though, because I want to hear what Craig has to say, because he's smiling, and then I want to hear what T-Bunny's been up to. So, Craig, what do you have to say?
So just tying into your conversation, but it was going to tie into mine. Like, did you put bipolar or schizophrenia into a Google search engine? Because what I was going to say is, if you just type plumbing into Google, watch what happens on your Facebook. You start getting inundated with ads for plumbing and plumbing companies. You go
or porn.
Yeah.
Twitter. Yeah, well, I love talking in front of my corporate, my totally secure corporate listening device right here.
Yep.
Because, I get things. And every once in a while, I'll just say a random word. Like,
we all get things, especially if we don't use protection. Yeah,
you know,
you will get a thing.
But so yeah, they are tailoring your experiences, and they're tailoring it, I believe, to AI, so that they can control everything. That's why, you know, sometimes you see these reporters on websites. I like to look up the reporter and try to find out where they went to school. You'll find a lot of times the reporters on these blog sites never went to school anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, I remember when AI was fun in the times of Max Headroom.
Yeah.
That was fun AI.
Dude, I'm going to date myself, but I was there for the single greatest TV intrusion ever in 89. I was actually watching PBS when someone hacked in Chicago and had Max Headroom saying all this crazy stuff, and then they were spanking somebody. And I mean, it was completely bat crap out of the guy hardlined into one of the satellites. I mean, it was just bizarre. So, you know, that little, it influenced me, like, wow, someone can do that. So, you know, you got to have faith in the scoundrels. They'll keep the world interesting no matter how boring they try to make it. Now, speaking of really interesting people who border on the scoundrel, and I say that with honor and privilege. How you doing, T-Bunny, and what have you been up to?
Well, on that subject, we did Cannabis and Conspiracies the other day on the Titanic conspiracy. And
oh, yeah, that's the wipe out the oligarch families, right?
The Astors and the
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah. Three of the most powerful men in the world were on the same ship. It went down, and they weren't allowed to get in the boats. Yep. So nothing to see here, though. Nothing to see here.
No, not really.
Anyway,
the food
just coincidence. Just coincidence.
Yeah.
Total coincidence. All right. Anyway, during the course of that that show, I mentioned a Clive Cussler book called "Raise the Titanic," and and there was a movie made from that book, and it was a god awful movie that nobody watches, nobody references. He hated the movie. It's pretty much I haven't seen it like mentioned anywhere, and yet I. What's that?
You're rowboating a bit, or is it me? Yeah.
I can't help it.
I'm hearing you fine, T. I'm hearing you fine.
Yeah, okay, sorry. My bad.
Oh, okay.
No, I can hear
okay.
Craig looks like he was asleep there for a minute, though.
No problem. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, but when does it always go back to Woodrow Wilson? Like, everything that's wrong with money and, like, shady business, always Woodrow Wilson and the Federal
It's your
Reserve.
imagination. Everything actually goes back to Clinton.
Yeah, exactly. The Clintons.
Or the Kennedys, depending upon what
in 92. Yeah. In 92, Clinton opened up free trade with China. He gave China access to everything and everyone the ability to go there and then to come here.
Well, Nixon was there first.
I just remember when Clinton came to Panama, man. I saw him like in real life, and dude, that guy was freaky. Like he froze his face in place for pictures. So all the way I was like,
yeah.
It was weird.
Hi, Eric.
Eric Hodgson's in the house.
Oh, I know we're supposed to have go.
Well, let me finish my thought though.
Do it.
You have a thought?
Go ahead.
Well, okay. Well, so last night the night before last, I opened up my app to my my YouTube, and suddenly right there, it's that movie being advertised. And the way that I mentioned it was on stream. I didn't type it anywhere, so it would have had to listen to what I said, and the algorithm would have had to spit the damn movie up. So I mean, they're listening. They're listening.
It's funny. The algorithms listen, and then they're like, "And no, we don't want what you're about, Nick." And I really think that, like, apparently the idea of, hey, have independent thought, be kind to each other, don't get caught up in the rage, create stuff and make people happy and do good. This is not what the business universe wants to hear. And I'm a firm believer, because we were supposed to talk about censorship. And I know Luke wanted to get into some stuff about censorship. And if he manages to get on his own show, we will talk about it. But
Luke is censoring himself.
Luke is absolutely see. That's what happened. The powers that be, the computer is just censoring Luke. The robot uprising has already happened. His computer wind up with the toaster Decepticon style, and right now somewhere in southern Indiana, Luke Stone is battling violently against an amalgamated robot of the.
Luke says he canceled himself.
Luke says he canceled himself. Oh, geez.
The AI made the mistake of thinking it could cut the head off and kill the snake, but multiple heads popped up in his place.
There it is.
Thank you. Speaking of canceling yourself, hey Eric, thanks for coming on the show. I love the art you're doing. Now, because I'm looking at a fairly small, because I'm trying to see the comments too and everything on my computer, it looks like either one heck of a hockey fight or you've been licensed to Tron. And I'm here for
this is Darren McCarty's life story. It's being published by Musk Comics. And I'm on page 163 of 176 pages.
Ooh. Go, man, go.
Yeah, well, I'm not the principal penciler. These are not my pencils. I'm just inking and flatting the thing.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm cleaning up somebody else's mess, in other words.
Okay.
But I'm actually running on generator here from the ice storm. I'm wondering if that was a similar situation with Luke.
Oh, no.
He didn't get any of it.
No, well, Luke is, you know what, though? There were ice storms between Luke and I. So he may be having systemic problems because he is here, but he is looming menacingly at Pedro. I think it's because he's upset that he didn't get invited to the birthday party. I mean, look at that stare. Look at the fury.
Dude.
You know that's what the SJWs would call white man rage, right there. I mean, we're just
the brown guy of all people.
See,
that doesn't matter.
Of course,
you're just tan. Still white.
Dude, I don't know, man.
The white supremacy is internalized.
Yeah, dude. I did say some harsh things last show, so maybe that's why
he's got eyes, man. Somebody screenshot this and just put the laser eyes coming out of Luke's eyes at
yeah, dude.
you know.
Wow. At least he's here in spirit.
My name's Luke.
He's here in spirit. I'll keep the show going because that's the real reason he tapped me.
Oh my god!
He's cloned himself.
There's two of me. What happened? You see what happened? They tried to cancel me, and I came back twice as powerful.
Right. Yeah.
See, if you strike me down,
he'll come twice.
I'll come
Strike
twice.
him down, he'll come twice.
That's wrong.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Dang it, Pedro.
You
Dang
have
it, Pedro.
just a bit of roboting only in your voice. Leave it because it's awesome. You have this Anakin sound going.
See, you don't know. That might be how I sound, actually.
Okay,
Wow.
now it's clearing up. It's better.
Yeah, that might actually be how I sound, as far as
It
you
was
know.
like, crap, Luke respawned again.
Yeah. So,
And I'm going to tell you, you need, when all this is said and done and we get through this lovely show today, you need to go back because it froze perfectly with you just staring hate at Pedro.
I was watching it. Yeah, I was watching it on my phone.
That was
Yeah.
beautiful, man.
I was like, wow,
everything
was-
they accused you of. You went full Homelander, right?
Yeah.
Like middle.
Yeah, it was
You were making him uncomfortable, and you weren't even here. It was just a stand-in.
right.
Oh,
Well, that's
just for
that's a
split
skill
second,
in and of itself.
With the grin at Randy, this is great. I love this. I'm having fun. And thank you, T Bunny, for coming in and being sure to bail us out.
Yes, thank you.
I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because,
So, well, you guys are clearly you know what kind of week I'm having.
Yeah. It looks.
I am right here with you.
Yeah, clearly you know what kind of week I'm having.
Oh, don't do it, Chrome Dog. You'll get hacked.
The answer is no.
TrustedSite.com.
Dude, I'll trust to come by my house in a van with a chloroform rag ready to take me away. Maybe. I'll
I
trust
wonder how much that URL cost them.
Yeah.
They come to take me
Their
away.
dignity.
Ooh.
So I'm getting all of my articles ready because everything had to reset. The modem had to reset. The computer had to reset.
Dude.
Everything.
Bummer.
And I think part of the problem is last night I used a Wi-Fi extender and ran hardwire by LAN into my laptop, and I streamed for 2 hours, and it was beautifully crisp. And something happened this morning, and so I'm just reverting back to the old
Wi-Fi?
stuff. Yeah.
You know, Luke, I was talking about how the algorithm, because Luke and I did some deep dives because it looked like I wasn't, according to him, it looked like I wasn't getting stuff done at all. And there was no way for me to know just how badly throttled.
That's what she said.
Some like that.
Ding.
But guys, apparently Twitter is now just like Facebook. So I just like YouTube. So when you follow somebody, especially the people in this panel on Twitter, be sure to check that notification bell. Because right now Twitter is just shamelessly stealing everything from the different social medias, and it's usually what doesn't work. So, hi Hicks Villain, what's up?
Hey.
But so really, because we're trying to get the Hybrids RPG out and get people hearing about it, and the trade paperback. Luke has some amazing creator commentary in there that you just wouldn't get by just looking through the floppies. And I know what's coming out in some of the later TPBs as extra commentary. So you really want to consider putting some aside for that because it's such neat background content. And if you love the Hybrids universe the way I do, you want to get in and do that. If you want to be a part of it and play around in the Hybrids universe, that's what the game is made to do, is to give you that experience of being someone in a world gone mad. You know, where the genetics of old gods are rising up all around us.
You know, it's awesome.
The one thing we don't talk about
Yeah.
with social media, I was going to say one thing we don't talk about enough is the greatest thing you can do to help each other, to help people, and to promote people is to like and to share, because that's the one way to get those things out for more people to see it and more people to see it. It's the one thing they can't throttle is if you like and share, you essentially, the things you enjoy, others will enjoy as well. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in never do anything for just one reason. It's a great way to make lots of mistakes. And you're doing that, you're promoting people, you're spreading entertainment so your feed looks better.
Yeah.
And you're sticking it to the algorithm. So, like, if you want the positive reason to do it, the positive reason is you're building up, you're supporting independent creators. You know, I know everyone watching the show has already hit the like button. With the epic battles that we have gone, I know you guys have had the courtesy to hit the like button.
Yeah,
And to
all these
share
epic
this
battles.
video around. I know that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not asking you to hit that like button.
So, speaking of algorithms, on our current campaign right now that we've got going, Nick,
Yes.
we wanted to give away 3 PDFs. Well, technically 4 PDFs, but 3 primary PDFs.
Yes.
And rather than just give them away, we decided to make them a $1 tier so people could try it. But for that dollar investment, what you're actually doing is boosting our algorithms. So every time we get a backer, regardless of whether it's $1 or $100, it tells Indiegogo that someone's interested in our campaign. And it makes it more accessible to strangers just coming onto the site. So we've created an algorithm booster tier, basically, is what we've done. So that's what we've got going over there right now. So if you guys wonder, why are you guys giving away those things for $1? Well, we were going to give them away, but we're asking for an algorithm boost for $1. That's what we're asking for.
Yeah, and really, guys, all beneficial, because I believe that supported enlightened self-interest is the best way to make money. And you're going to get, if you have not read Hybrids, and that's fine, you're not too late to the party. For $1, you're going to get 2 of the best comics written in independent comics, and the quick play, which is a light version of the rules and the first part of an ongoing series of adventures.
Yeah, Agent Zero, I know. Indiegogo always asks for a tip. You just have to say no. You have to give them the proverbial finger and just say no. Screw you. We're not giving you a tip.
One thing I've noticed on my iOS, it doesn't do it, but if I do back anything through the web browser, yeah, it's right there.
That's weird. Because it does it on my iOS. So check that out. Now, we're supposed to have Nerium here today with Bonds, but she is on another stream right now. And when she gets done there, she's going to be on her way over here. And when she shows up, we're going to talk to her because it's going to be like 3 or 3:30 in the morning by the time she gets here. So, so it's going to be really early for her. Maybe even 4 o'clock in the morning. If she can make it at all. So she might just be passing out. So
and that's fair. We fully understand.
Yeah.
I have to be out of here and mobile no later than noon. If the show
absolutely.
Because my wife has some medical stuff that has to happen. So I'm giving that because if I look at the clock and suddenly have to go and we're in the middle of a great conversation, I don't want you guys thinking that I went, you know what?
Guys, I really hope to be done by noon today.
If I ever mic drop, I'm out. You will know it.
All right, so
oh my God, what?
We normally get into the news about this time, but normally it's right after we've done a fair amount of intros and videos, and all of that is out the window today.
Yeah,
so,
we kept it going.
You did. I'm so proud of you guys. Now, you guys were talking to me, and I couldn't hear you. It was all roboting, so I had no idea what you were saying. So I was like, maybe they're saying just to go live and they'll handle it. I hope that's what they're saying.
Nice.
And so I messaged T Bunny because I knew he had director access, and I was like, and he's like, I was like, thank God he's up. He's like, I'm actually waiting in the back room. I'm like, yeah, I need your help, man. See, this is why you need friends. No man is an island. Yeah.
Now, I
forgot I could add myself.
You can add yourself if you want to.
Yeah, I could add myself.
Behind.
I was just sitting back there waiting on somebody to add me, so it's funny.
Right. Okay, so did you guys read this? I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay, there are 2 factors in here that need to be discussed. First and foremost, we were just talking about how people get baited. This is it. Not only is this BS, this is 4-year-old BS.
This is BO.
Yeah, dude.
I know. But listen. When I heard this, I thought this has got to be some kind of propaganda to get right-wing people that stink, or right-wing people that stink to use deodorant.
Yeah, exactly. This
it's
is
like,
a filthy hippie.
Yeah, if you hate body odor, you're more likely to have right-wing views. Basically, that's like, because we've all got that stinky uncle. You know the stinky uncle? But it has like
Zero, let's go. Sorry.
Yeah, it has like super crazy
BO,
yeah, BO, and he's like, but he has crazy like conservative conspiracy theories.
So down here we call that Island Musk, and
Island Musk. Nice.
That's the thing you get when you work under the sun all day, and it's just not like pungent, but it stings your eyes.
Yes.
So, right, but that's different because you go home and you shower, you clean it off.
We just called him Uncle Bud.
We're talking about the guys that, I mean, this is months of stink on top of each other, right? It's like stink on top of stink. You know, their fingers are yellow from cigarettes.
Yeah, like I wash my hair with olive oil, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to start off with something funny because I thought this was pretty funny, you know. And I shared this on Twitter when I saw it. I was like, the science holds up. Scientists say.
I am shocked by what they decided to follow this with. So you've decided,
right?
No, like if you scroll back down. This is funny. Did you catch it? Just keep going. I want to see if the ad's still there. Okay, I think they moved it. We were scrolling down and it said it was gone. It said, salad shortages in the UK, and I'm just like, what is this? Like,
this is to distract you from all the other stuff. Let me say this. When the United States government wants you to believe there's aliens, they're trying to hide something.
Yeah. And that happens because Michael Jackson died. Because every time something weird happened, Michael Jackson touched a kid. And that's a Dave Chappelle theory, and I stand by that one.
So here's the subheading. Scientists suggest authoritarian attitudes may be partly rooted in biological urge to avoid catching diseases from unfamiliar people. I just don't want to catch diseases from unfamiliar people.
Well,
I don't know if that has anything to do with authoritarian attitudes. It has everything to do with I don't want to catch COVID.
Yeah.
So Mr. Clean is a fascist icon. Yeah.
Well,
Mr.
Always has been.
I mean, I saw a documentary on this, Luke. I saw a documentary on this, and basically, like the regime that fought World War II on the Axis side. I don't want to say the word. Their whole theories were based on contempt and disgust for people. So it's kind of like linked to like people who stink.
Let's call them the Yahtzees.
Yeah,
the Yahtzees. That's a fun game, isn't it?
Yeah, Yahtzee.
I played Yahtzee in a long time.
On disgust for gypsies and all the other like groups that didn't make it past that whole ordeal. They were.
You guys got to see my search history for a second. You'll see how conspiracy theorist I am.
Yeah.
It looks crazy because of the stuff I have to look up.
You've been climbing down some crazy rabbit holes lately.
Yeah,
well, I just see what's the popular headlines is basically what I look at.
Okay, this is funny.
Oh, I'm sure I'm on a list by now with CNC.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, wait. Guaranteed, Bunny. Guaranteed.
Am I the one who thinks the idea of the phrase direct market celebration is the funniest thing that could ever come on a screen with Randy Zimmerman on the same screen? Because I'm telling you, this is hilarious. Diamond signs on as co-sponsor of ICV2's direct market celebration. And Randy's like, I am so impressed that you've kept, the one finger salutes off camera. Randy, I want to applaud your control on this one.
Well, this came out yesterday, guys.
Well, I have to tell you, I've read a couple of articles recently from ICV2, and this doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay, so I don't like to bring it up only because it's stupid, but recently, Project Veritas, they released a new report. And in that report, some things were brought to light that people did not want to be brought to light. And 3 weeks later, they oust their founder and CEO. Right?
Yeah.
And so clearly the board had some things. I'm thinking a similar situation is going on over here at ICV2. Because it's getting very much like, yay, Diamond. Yay, mainstream.
They've always been a little bit of that, but it's been really bad.
They seem to be not as impartial as what they used to be.
Yep.
But I just thought this was interesting news that that Diamond is partnering with this website now. to celebrate direct market, to celebrate the direct market that Diamond has killed.
Without scratching each other's backs.
Yeah, I mean, so listen to this quote.
I would have had a more circular thought for what's going on, but I don't want to be a jerk.
Yeah. I see what you did there, Nick.
Basically,
I like that.
this is celebrating the Wolf's tenure as the head of in-house security.
Right. So right here it says, Diamond has been an important force in the comic direct market for over 40 years and the dominant company in the field for nearly 3 decades. That, okay, that is a nice way of saying that they have bullied all other distributors out by creating an exclusivity clause that allows only them to be the ones that get used.
There's a reason why this industry is flailing and on its knees. There you go. That's it.
We're proud to have Diamond support this effort to explore and celebrate the direct market, which made comic culture possible, and thank them for their support. Comic culture existed before that.
Yeah. Wow.
And it will exist long after them. Okay? And if Diamond really was concerned about supporting the retailer, the direct market, then they would have made changes to their business model decades ago. All right. That's my opinion, not necessarily that of staff or the panel.
That's safe.
Yeah. But that's where I'm at with that, guys.
That's been my experience.
There is a very inappropriate song from a little parody series called Ultimate Helsing Abridged. And it is so inappropriate, I would have to bleep the majority of it out to be able to even pay homage to it. But it's, I don't give a bleep, I don't give a beep. I don't give a bleep, I don't give a beep. If I gave a bleep, I might give a beep, but I don't give a bleep, so I don't give a beep. Now, what I mean by that is
that's poetry in motion, man.
If Diamond and ICV want to, engage in
this circular form of love,
right? They are there using their mouth to express love on each other in an inverted position. That's fine too. But
guys, it's 69 degrees out here right now.
Nice.
I'm joking. It's not 69 degrees out here.
No, but still nice because I saw what you did there.
It's 69 degrees in here.
Ouch.
So anyway, I get what you're saying, man. Yeah, truth. Let them do it.
Let them do it. Enjoy. I hope everybody has a happy ending and everything that results in that, and they leave us alone so that we can keep making better stuff.
I hope it makes a baby. I hope they make new babies because that's what we need. We need new things happening in the industry that help everyone. So check this out. Book Channel graphic novel sales dropping in 2003 and Manga leads the decline.
Huh?
Manga is leading the decline in the book sales in 2023. Now here's the problem. I don't think that it's just comics or manga or anything. I think right now across the board there is, I'm seeing that campaigns that typically would make 20, 30,000 are maybe scraping in 10, 15. I think you're seeing this all over the place, but of course we want to be like, oh look, manga's not doing as good as we thought it was. American comics are. If manga starts to suffer, I think we're all going to suffer personally.
Here's the problem.
I think we're all already suffering.
We're putting causation and correlation together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's the problem, guys. Food prices skyrocketed. Okay? The price of any wood product, including paper, basically tripled in the last couple of years. Every luxury is going to hurt. And everyone is still trying to base their numbers off of the 19, because it takes a couple years to process numbers properly.
Right.
2019 to early 21. We are not in you don't have to go to work, but you have money, so you need disposable entertainment to keep you sane. We can't look at those trends and expect any quality from it. And all these business folks who are used to tracking the math. Well, look at what the numbers did. Why is it falling? Because food prices are more expensive. Because you've got a whole lot of people are nervous and trying to deal with the what if cars do go to electric. Because America may not be the greatest at a lot of things, in a lot of people's eyes, but we are the biggest consumers. And when we get nervous, no matter what people say, they want to do different things, but if there isn't food, if food disappears or gets more expensive, if the lumber to make things disappear gets more expensive, if you look at the news and there's a whole bunch of idiotic saber rattling going on, people stop buying luxuries. Even the most adamant, I want to have fun, still needs to eat.
Yeah.
And people are trying to make these complex systems of justifying, well, why is this going down versus this, and what does it mean to us? What it means to us is there's going to be less entertainment buck to go around.
Yeah.
There just is. And what that means to the people in this chat and the people who watch programs like ours is that now is the time to decide, where are you putting your buck?
Right.
And that's happening
across
gaming. It's happening across comics. It's happening across movies. It's happening across video games. People aren't being spendthrifty. And you have to go, if you're buying a comic because you want to read comics, if you're buying things because you want to do it, now is the time to funnel that money into the indies.
But that also makes it, and I'm not saying this as a whine. I'm not whining, but this is more job for us. This is more work for us. We have to wear the fishnets, we have to look pretty.
Yeah.
We have to sell more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, truthfully, we have to offer more value because that's what is going to happen. Like right now, we're running this campaign, and I know that every item on there is kind of a high ticket item.
I've been working my legs.
Okay? Right. Look at those calves.
I'm getting ready for the fishnets.
But chow, look at those calves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Look, we got more viewers when you started doing that. I don't know what it is.
Well, everything.
We're gonna have some Pedro simps.
Here, wait. All help. Here we go. Now
he doesn't have enough filters, though.
What was that, Eric?
I said that everything that Nick just went through about why things are down. That's one of the reasons why I am a big proponent of putting content up on sites like Webtoon. And you think back to history during the Great Depression, the main form of entertainment that really took off was the pulps.
Yep.
They were doing things as cheap as possible, the cheapest paper. They were paying, what was it, like 10 cents a word or something like that?
Yep.
And they were churning out as much content as possible because it was easily accessible at the time. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody can get access to places like Global Comics, Webtoon, Tapas completely for free. There's no reason you shouldn't be paralleling your print media with something out there to bring people in. Because if you can bring people in on your source material, they're going to be more likely to turn around and give you some money.
I absolutely agree, 1,000%. You're 1,000% correct.
I do think there's an opportunity here that we're not talking about, and that is when the Great Depression hit. There were several things that really increased to the biggest it's ever been. One of them was horse racing. It became the sport, the main sport in America. People like Seabiscuit, war, Man of War, things, animals like that, really captured American imagination. Plus, radio shows took off, and so did print media, including the pulps, and a lot because people were so miserable about their life that they looked for any cheap and free entertainment.
Yes.
And at that particular time, and so we can say, okay, people aren't buying like they did, or we can say, okay, but what are they buying, and can we become part of that thing that they are?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think we're all agreed.
I think that the thing that we're kind of like worried about, the numbers that have dropped, is just from the immediate community that we're in. But there's a we're basically in a tributary of a really large stream, and we need to start trying to get to the stream. And this tributary might be drying up. Yeah, this corner might be drying up, but if we can find a way to get into the zeitgeist and get and by the way,
yeah, marketing.
The people who have gatekept the zeitgeist have abdicated that responsibility with their stupidity.
Guys, get out your thesaurus. If you have no idea what he's saying, just get out your thesaurus. Get out your dictionary.
Okay. Let me put it on the bottom shelf.
Barely. Let me put it on.
If you don't speak conspiracy, yeah.
That's not a conspiracy. That's just some decent large.
He's got no. Bunny's got a great vocabulary, and I love talking to Bunny.
I know, because that's what I enjoy Bunny because I don't have to monitor my vocabulary. Around Bunny, I can speak.
Look, I did youth ministry for like 15 or 16 years.
And
I got used to dumbing everything down, so that's
ministry. Let me give you the youth ministry version of what I'm just saying. Okay. All right. So
wait. You have to
big
stop.
Stream over here.
Turn your chair around and facing backwards.
Turn the hat around.
All right. There's big stream over here. We're in small stream. Small stream drying up. Here's big stream over here. We need to go over to big stream.
Yes. Well, okay. I think that's
Buddy,
what we're trying to look for.
You're saying that the small streams are just drying up, so we need to go to the larger, more well-established, the mainstream? You guys heard it here, folks. T. Bunny himself just tried to get us all to jump in the mainstream. Oh my God, the sky is falling. Ah! Who are you and what did you do with T. Bunny?
So I think what we're trying to do is
hostage.
No,
I think what we're trying seriously, guys.
I'm not saying jump into that mainstream. I'm saying become the mainstream.
I just you left yourself open for humor.
I did.
Listen, guys.
Fair enough.
Honestly, I think that we're trying to find out where that's at, and that's why numbers like this is important. So right now, book sales. This is not just comic books. This is graphic novels. This is book sales are down 13%, according to the NPD Books scan. Okay? Manga is responsible for 60% of that 13% decline.
Oof.
Big oof, right? So what does that mean? Does it mean that manga is getting harder to get over here in the US? Does it mean that people aren't as interested? Does it mean that those dollars are going to somewhere else? Right now, Nick and I are starting a company called Lockdown Games. The reason why we're doing that is because we know there's a lot of money that people want to spend in quality gaming. And a lot of people know that right now, which is very unfortunate for us, because a lot of people have started to migrate into doing that. And so, but you're absolutely right, Bunny. We do have to find where those streams are at. Where do people want to get their entertainment, and what kind of entertainment do they want to have? There's always going to be people that want comic books. Always. Comic books will always make it. But we're going to have to figure out our business model moving forward. Is crowdfunding going to be the main way to do it? Are we going to do what Eric says? Are we going to go into more free digital webcomic kind of stuff and do print kind of at the end of that? Like, how are we? We're going to have to look at that, because these numbers, I don't think are going to get better this year unless we see some kind of a miracle, because gas prices continue to soar. Food prices continue to soar. There's worry of wars with China. I mean, right now, like so, we went to breakfast the other day, and the president was speaking on concerns of tensions with Russia and China. If we went to war with Russia and China right now, I don't know what that would turn. I mean, I think we would win because we're Americans and we're tenacious. That's what we do.
And our troops are stunning and brave.
Yeah.
They are. Well, no.
Okay.
Let's be honest. Okay, so
I'm gonna cite Malthus here, and dude, war stimulates the economy. So
It does.
I'm not gonna say it. Like war is what the world needs right now, but
I think they know that. I think they know that.
yeah.
Well, this is that
It also
war is how they
reduces
change
the
our
population.
Mm-hmm.
It also reduces the population, which is something that they need to do right now. I think that we're headed towards war.
Something I think they need to do.
It's something that they think they need to do right now.
Something they think they need to do. Right, okay. So, but you guys
because
are
their
aware
numbers are
of...
bullshit.
That's bullshit.
You guys are aware of a thing
I hate
called...
Malthus.
You guys are aware of a thing called... a ship called the Texas, right?
Yeah.
Very famous for what it did in the European theater, World War II. It was adding suppression fire at the landing zone for the troops to get on because it had the biggest guns. And it was having trouble getting the range it needed. So the captain sunk part of the ship in order to arc those guns up so that it could get further range. The attitude that Americans have is our instinct for preservation is far weaker than our desire to hit the backspace on our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth. We are willing to cut off our leg and beat you with it if it means we're going to kill you, if we're going to win. And that's what they know. They know that. So they might have the numbers, they might have equal power, but our allies are strong and we are tenacious. But in the end, nobody wins except for the oligarchs.
They don't have equal power, man. Like that's the thing. Like the American army, and I've been on the receiving end of your barrel.
Yes, you have.
Yeah, the American army is 6 times bigger than all the superpowers armies combined. It's 6 times bigger. It's just like, dude, it's no contest. Like nobody wants to fight you. And whoever says they want to fight you, they're bluffing to get something. But nobody wants to fight America.
Look, we can laugh about stunning and brave if we want to, but I'll be honest with you. I had a friend who was gay in high school, and when he decided to throw down, oh my gosh, it was no holds barred. I'm telling you, because there are 2 things in this life that we will fight hard for: love and hate. And I'll tell you what, channel one of those things. But okay, we've gotten off topic. I'm telling you, but the people that win are the oligarchs.
We love to hate. We do love to hate. Yeah.
The people that win are the oligarchs, not us, not the people.
I love
not
to
the
love.
people.
I don't care.
Dude, also, there's another thing with America that I love. That's the fascination with explosions. You love to see things blow up, and it's amazing. Like I kind of see it too. Like
We
I
love
see
our
explosion,
boom
boom. You know, like and that's
my first response to that was God bless America. I'm not even gonna look. As soon as you said you love to see stuff, I actually felt that little bit of
Yeah, we celebrate our country.
We've got explosions in our national anthem, folks.
exactly.
But
Yeah, we do have some troubles in the pilot seat right now, but maybe it'll get better.
I will tell you this horrible secret, and I got it from one of the most tremulous times in modern history. There was a period during September 11th, and shortly after, where the vice president was in hiding for safety. The president was up in a plane, unknown location for safety. Most of Congress was locked down for safety. Nobody even knows where Supreme Court was. And you know what happened? The lights stayed on, the roads kept working, the trains kept moving, everything kept working. I firmly believe that there are two governments. You have the government that is run by a bunch of politicians and lobbyists and people who bark things, and we write laws from a position of ignorance. I don't care what side you're on. Militant liberal, militant conservative, both sides write laws from a position of ignorance. They don't know what they're talking about, and they're trying to govern it.
Right.
And while all that's going on, there is a whole nother government of people who are out there clocking in day in and day out with the GS rankings, government servant, whatever, keeping our country afloat. And I'm going to tell you the horrible secret. The horrible secret is over in Russia, beneath Putin and all the hard to pronounce fat Russian guys and all these generals, it's the same kind of people doing the same kind of thing. And once you get past the complete brainwashing, which is the Communist Party over in China, you get down to it. It's the same kind of people. So if we're going to talk, it's time, I think, because with the internet, everyone can talk, and the numbers can go, why are we killing each other over stuff we don't care about?
What's the
This
point?
is what it sounds like when doves cry.
But okay, so listen to this.
Don't mock Prince.
Manga still accounts for over half of book channel sales. So even though it's down and 60% of the 13% is due to manga is still over half of the book sales. All right. What does that tell you about the kind of numbers manga is doing? Do you think they're worried about that drop in sales?
Nope.
Yes.
Probably not.
No,
maybe,
you know what?
Maybe not.
They absolutely are. Because any sane business is losing their shit. And over there, you got to go look at the manga, go follow the manga shows kind of like ours, where people are talking about it. Listen to the mangakas and stuff.
But dude, like, the bottom line is this, that they can still buy a lot of ramen with that market share. And we can't say that.
They can buy a whole lot.
Yeah.
The companies can.
Yeah.
The companies can, and they do it by paying their artists worse than what we do when we pay our artists.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, you have to understand, manga does have a little ace in the hole. It's called hentai. Anyway.
Yeah, there's that.
There's that.
Oh, dude,
I was talking last night with EB, Earth's Best Entertainment. We did his show last night, and I was explaining to him, in my time in ministry, I've learned two things. That people are overwhelmingly sad and horny. And so any industry that can affect those two things, is going to do well. Porn industries, alcohol, drugs, any entertainment that can create a quick burst of serotonin. So those things are going to do well. That's why when you see books that have a lot of sexy women on the cover in comics, those tend to do really well. Books like ours, where we try to not lean on the cheesecake, they don't do as well. And we know we've got to. If you're doing a kid-friendly book, you've got an uphill climb, and you shouldn't expect to do a lot when you're initially crowdfunding. Your best chances are to get that book into the hands of scholastics, because that's going to be your bread and butter. But speaking of scholastics, speaking of books and kids, about this for a second. We mentioned censorship versus anti-grooming, and we're going to get into both of those topics this week because they have been big topics that have made. We're talking authors all over the place. Lori Nataro, who my wife follows, is classically liberal and is very upset with liberals. In fact, my wife read this thread and she goes, "You'll never believe what they're saying." She's like, "They're saying that these leftists are so far left that they're now right, that these are uber Christians doing this." And I was like, leave me out of it. I am not like, Christians do not care about using the word fat. Like, we talk about gluttony all the time, you know. So let's get into this for a second. Roald Dahl, who died in 1990, very famous children's author. I think Quentin Blake was his artist, one of the illustrators that he worked with. Illustrated a lot of his books. It was because of Roald Dahl that I believe, what is his name? He's a director, did Batman, did
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, thank
Tim
you.
Burton, yeah.
Names,
Tim
because
Burton.
of this COVID, I still have that COVID brain, so I'll still like miss things occasionally. I think Tim Burton has a career because of Roald Dahl.
Yeah,
who
he does.
was one of his favorite authors growing up, and rightfully so. I mean, look at these books that we're talking about. Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, Matilda, Witches is one of his. The BFG, the Big Friendly Giant. Think about all of the stuff that this guy's produced. So what's happening right now is someone is going in, and apparently he had some anti-Semitic remarks that he made many years ago, and his estate apologized for it. But they are going in and they're editing his work now. Most notably, Augustus Gloop. Okay, Augustus Gloop in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Let me read this.
Kid. Yeah.
Yeah, Augustus Gloop, Charlie's gluttonous antagonist in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which originally was published in 1964, is no longer enormously fat, just enormous. In the new edition of Witches, a supernatural female posing as an ordinary woman may be working as a top scientist or running a business instead of as a cashier in a supermarket or typing letters for a businessman. So they're changing kind of the whole idea of this. The idea was that these witches were doing menial jobs that ran them under the radar. That was the point. There was no eyes on them, you know? So they're changing the whole gist of these stories. But primarily, like, let's look at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. There's a moral lesson in all of those kids that are the antagonist. And how can you teach a moral lesson on gluttony when you don't use the word fat?
Yeah.
When you've removed that.
Well, one of the things that the other day I was saying on my show, because I covered this the other day, was when you look at what they're changing, this is not conservative Christians, okay? Conservative Christians, if they do a censorship, it's censorship to keep like adult concepts away from the eyes of children.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute.
Or perceived.
I'll show you what the Christians are going after.
Yeah. Well, but when you this kind of what they're doing is they are rewriting these stories to fit a cultural norm. They're basically, quote unquote, updating his books. So this is not like this is not just censorship. This is a corruption.
We talk about comic books a lot here, right? And pop culture and video games. And we talk about when they translate those into movies, cartoons, and things like that. One of the things we are always harping about is being true to the source material. Now they've disrespected the source material so much, they're actually changing the source material.
Yeah, dude.
There's no respect for what was written. You know what? Yeah, say it's problematic. That's fine. Say that it's dated. Randy's got this great book, Spank the Monkey on the Comic Market, on the comic business, and it is. I've had the pleasure of reading a first draft of that, nearly finished. Barring some edits. What a great piece of work Randy's done, because he brings up the ugly part of the history, but says, look, we're better than that now. We're not saying it's good. We're not saying it's right. we're saying it's part of our history and it's where we
It
came
happened.
from. We've
Yeah.
learned to grow beyond that. If you are a person who grows, you can have an opinion right now and in 2 minutes change that opinion because new facts and new things have come to light, and you should not be held responsible for your opinion that you had 2 minutes ago before you grew as a person. But right now we hold people in contempt for things and opinions they had 10 years ago,
10
20
years
years
ago,
ago.
Yep.
We're not rewarding growth as human beings anymore, right? So right now we can say, look, we shouldn't fat shame, we shouldn't body shame, right? But this is a moral lesson. You know, this is witches that are now supernatural females. And instead of them having jobs that would fly under the radar, if they would have said, you know, they can work as this or that, and it, you know, even if it's like a male-led industry, it doesn't matter. But jobs that eyes are not on them,
Guys, like,
because that's what these jobs are: supermarkets and typing letters.
The problem is not the claiming of limitation of women. The problem is what they've countered with is stuff that's tactically not going to achieve the goal of being under the radar. That's why when you go into witness protection programs, they don't give you jobs like TV newscaster
or top scientist.
But
or
they
don't give you
meant to know, and for one simple reason, these are talentless cowards.
Yes.
There you go.
Who can't write their own stories, and they come in. And I know I'm a savage that lives in Jurassic Park, maybe Nublar or Sorn Island. I don't know. Like, I live in America. I'm not supposed to know any of these things. But dude, last time I said something harsh, I'm going to say something harsh again. I was reading about the Bohemian Revolt, and there's a concept I really love called defenestration. Which is basically throwing people out of windows.
My favorite words. Yes.
They should be thrown out of windows. These people are useless. They serve no purpose. They have no place in culture. If you're not going to bring something that's yours and be brave enough and stand behind what you're saying, then shut up. Because this is not cool, man. This guy's
this is the pendulum in woke culture and progressive ideology has swung so far. You've got people that, though the pendulum, I feel, is to its furthest peak it's ever been, you've got people behind that trying to push it further. And I was explaining this to my wife and some of the things we're going to talk about this morning, because this news story leads into other things that we're dealing with. Because things get so extreme in one direction, you almost, in order to get it to come back the other way, you have to be equally as extreme or insane to get yourself out of crazy land. And it's scary what's happening.
That right there is the single most dangerous thing you've ever said on the street.
Yeah.
I'm stone cold serious. That right there is the single most dangerous concept in America today. And what is tearing this nation apart?
It's called escalation.
That the only way to get out of it is to go to an extreme to counterbalance it. The only way to get out of the kind of idiocy that we're seeing, and I'm keeping back because I know where some of this is going to go with pre-talk, so I'm preloaded for some of this.
Guns are ready.
You guys, you have no idea.
Not guns, cannons. I'm sorry, cannons are ready.
I got full Steppenwolf in my mind right now, but if you say we have to, the second you say to beat them, we have to be just like them, you become the monster. If the only way to beat somebody is to become, you are now exactly the same. And a little later, we're going to get into some of the other different censorship stuff that's going on for different reasons.
Let me ask this of you, Nick.
A little ugly, but the only solution is stepping back, going, okay, there's this stuff called logic. Common sense may be my only superpower, but I'll wear the cape for it on this one. you have to stop and go, wait a second. Let's all breathe.
Well, I'm gonna combat that for a second, Nick. Here's what I've learned. I'm friends with several police officers, and one of the things that they have to deal with is escalation and de-escalation.
Yeah, what they're supposed to.
Well,
Which is what
many of them try. Many of them try, but when someone comes at you without logic or reason, with great force, your only recourse is to meet it with an equal opposition, or else they will overtake you.
I'm going to look you square in the eye and say to both you and the police, that is quintessential, unadulterated, cowardly bullshit. Because I was
okay. Let me ask. No, okay.
I'm going to finish.
Right.
I'm going to finish my point before I get distracted. I was a direct support professional. Okay, I worked with class 5 schizophrenics, some of the most dangerous people in the world. Guys who literally mechanically felt no pain. We're talking to guys who, when their mind went, they nearly, sodomies happened, people were hospitalized, people nearly died. The staff who worked in some of these places long-term started to look like, zombie survivors from having chunks ripped out of them when they weren't trained. If I could take down a guy who's covered in his own feces, buck naked, and wielding a club he ripped off the wall in front of a state inspector with no warning, a trained police officer should be able to handle somebody on their bad day. And I have had times where I've literally been standing, do not shoot my client, between a man with a gun drawn on somebody he's having a behavior, he's not drunk, he's not stoned.
Well,
give me a couple minutes.
I think you misunderstand me. We're not talking about mental illness.
No,
we're talking about people that are motivated by hate.
Yes, but exactly, and that's the thing.
If you have an enemy that's coming at you motivated by hate, that is not focused, that is not willing to use logic and reason, you have to meet them with equal force.
You have
to.
Not understand how you can redirect. In basic combat, the only way to win when you have a less force is either to escalate to dramatically overwhelming odds. E.g., there's a big guy charging.
Okay, Mr. Miyagi. Doesn't happen all the time. That doesn't happen all the time.
You know what? 30 years of working in martial arts, 20 years teaching, dealing with people 7 foot tall. It can be done. And
I'm saying it can, but I'm saying statistically it's not.
No, it should be.
That's my point. Okay.
My point is, if you're going to engage, you should have the training. And all over the world, other police departments.
But we've already said that people that are in government positions are already not trained. They're writing laws that they don't know anything about, right? So we've got people that are fighting a cultural war that have no moral guidance whatsoever. They have no moral guidance whatsoever. And we have people creating laws that have no idea what they're doing. The only way they can combat the people that are pushing these progressive agendas is to fight back with equal force. And that's what I'm afraid of. Because as crazy as it is, progressive in this country, it's getting ready to swing back the other way, very harsh and very ugly.
And see,
that is my point.
And that's the problem.
Has nothing to do with mental illness.
No. You see, mental illness, okay, what you've fixated on is the background of how I got into my position. I've also walked in against 7 men armed with knives and other weapons and walked away just fine.
I would too.
Damage.
I would too.
I won't.
Because I have 8 bullets in my gun.
See, and that's the thing. That's the thing. I did it without it.
Well, I'm well prepared and I'm well trained to end the threat.
That's the other problem. We're talking about an ideological difference, and the linguistics that we are going to are combative. Now, the problem is, if you're going to use the language of violence, of actual violence, we have to be careful. We need to, in discussing this, be using the language of de-escalation. But when we start talking about this is violent, they're doing this, we have to combat it, we have to fight it.
Well, to a hammer, everything is a nail.
I agree. We need more veterans as police officers. But when I was talking to emergency response police officers and street police officers who were in Afghanistan as door kickers, some hardcore mofos, and they look at me and they went, our rules of engagement were much harder and stricter in Afghanistan than America.
Okay, well, let me ask this. Could we have prevented the Holocaust by talking it out?
You know what? See, that I love how you went to a hyperbolic thing. Had you caught Hitler pre-World War I,
then yeah, we could have. Yeah,
was snapping before he became a charismatic nightmare. Back when he just wanted to be an artist. If you're going to go back there and if somebody had caught him before he went insane,
here's the lesson, guys. Look out for failed artists. Yeah. People that have campaigns that no one wants to back. Look out for those guys.
Timberland tried.
Don't say that with the way our campaign's going, Luke.
Right.
Real careful where you're bet.
Well, there's a concept.
There is a place for violence and a necessity for violence.
But there is a concept here that I think that I heard Matt Walsh talk about this the other day, and I think he had a good point to make, and that is we didn't get here by being unreasonable. We got here because we were too reasonable, and they were not being reasonable, and so we made concessions, and there was no concessions made on the other side at all. And so when we compromised, it didn't become a compromise. It became a lost position. It became
they took it as weakness, yes.
And because of that, and we're not talking about attack. We're talking about standing. We need to stand our ground, because we have never really stood our ground. We've been the reasonable ones. We've been the ones that are trying to negotiate, ones that are trying to talk it out. And meanwhile, they're over here foaming at the mouth, taking every single square inch and never giving anything back, because they're knife fighting, and we're trying to
There was a day when we would have never thought about changing the language of a book that had been written, that was already published. There was a day when we would have never thought about, you know what, we really like the book, but we don't like the word fat makes me feel bad. So let me go ahead and you know why this happened? You know why this happened? Let me find the part here.
Somebody got the fifis hurt.
Activists, I know you're going to find them.
No, it's not. It was the sensitivity readers.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Maybe it's the next article. Maybe it's this next article. Because they're talking about the spat. They call it a spat. This is more than a spat, fellas. This is more than a spat. This is
corruption.
This is people upset.
Twisting.
Like this is my line in the sand, guys.
Yeah.
Censorship. No. And I want to make sure that we understand that there's a difference between censorship and anti-grooming. And that's what we're going to get to, because this is all happening in our schools. And I mean, this threatens to change all of our careers in a negative way. My wife was a librarian. She has librarian friends that work in schools that are leaving their post. They're quitting. They don't want anything to do with it. So yeah, here's the article. The news that changes have been made to the works of best-selling children's author Roald Dahl has been met with anger from leading writers, including book prize winner Salman Rushdie, who branded the changes absurd censorship. Dahl, who died in 1990 at age 76, was the creator of characters such as Matilda, the BFG, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Willy Wonka, and the Twits. His books have sold more than 300 million copies and have been translated in 63 languages, while there have been numerous adaptations of his work for both the big screen and small screen. However, the author has long been regarded as controversial, and in 2020, his estate officially apologized for anti-Semitic comments made during his lifetime.
Yeah, it's a state.
It has now emerged that current editions...
Descendants, the same thing as the Tolkiens.
Yeah, it has now emerged that current editions of his books, published by Puffin, feature the following words at the bottom of the copyright page. Words matter. The wonderful words of Roald Dahl can transport you to different worlds and introduce you to the most marvelous characters. This book was written many years ago, and so we regularly review the language to ensure that it can continue to be enjoyed by all today. Which basically they're saying, we're going to bastardize as much as we can.
Change the spirit of the intention behind
and
it.
down here at the bottom it says these revisions have been worked on by sensitivity readers from an organization called Inclusive Minds.
There you go.
There you go. There's the problem. Okay, it is people jumping in.
That's all Orwellian newspeak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inclusive minds, my ass. Yeah.
Now this one
Same
really
thing happened to the Tolkien estate. The younger descendants who were brainwashed by the culture have given up J.R.R. Tolkien's legacy.
Well,
because
it's
Tolkien died.
It's happening all over when those in control don't respect the original source material.
right.
Hey guys, Nerium is here.
Disney.
What's up, Nerium?
What's up, guys? I was just
Hey.
writing into a private chat. I'm kind of mildly retarded because I read 9 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. So that's why I was like sweating here. Oh my god! So we're gonna start at like 3 a.m. my time, and we're just gonna keep you dragging for 3 hours. Wow, that's gonna be. I'm like a mommy.
Yeah, no. We start 9 a.m. on this one.
Then I read your like modem trouble message, and I was like, what the hell? Like, are they preparing so early? And then I reread the message, and I was like, damn.
Oh, well,
so sorry.
for us writers, for us artists, letters are weird, right?
Yeah.
Right now, we're talking about censorship versus anti-grooming. I'm not. You're probably familiar. I don't know if you're familiar with Roald Dahl, and they've changed some words in his books to be more sensitive. Rather, So here's a guy that's been dead since 1990, and his books are being edited. Yeah, they're being compromised, bastardized.
Sensitivity read.
Yeah, really annoying. And I for me, it's absurd censorship, just like Salman Rushdie says. It is absurd censorship.
This is part. See, you've got a 2-part beat you want to talk about, and I have to be careful because I know the hook around that's coming. So
And I do want to address something real quick, Nate, before you go. What people experienced between you and I, our exchange, might have felt awkward for people, but that's our kind of conversation that we'll have in the back room, and then we love each other still.
Yeah, guys, I only argue and get passionate with people who I respect.
Yeah.
Because if I don't respect both the subject matter or the person that I'm talking to, especially when it's on matters that could be dangerous, I won't waste my time. And if I had a problem with Luke or T-Bunny or anybody else on this chat, I would simply be like, write peace. I'm not paid. I'll let you guys in on a secret. I have a contract with Luke, theoretically, to make 50% off of the profits of whatever come from the game.
Let's hope there's profits.
That is literally the only legal constraint And I'll give you guys a horrible secret worse. I signed it, and I've done my half per contract. Everything else I do is purely because I am an awesome dude.
Yeah.
I could have literally simply not had my Thursday mornings wrapped up every Thursday morning and walked. I'm here because I want to try to help Luke because I believe what he's doing. And I've met some awesome people, and we get to be part of an amazing community.
Well, Nick and I love each other. I think Nick is my best friend. Like, I think I without doubt, I think he's my best friend. Now, here's the thing. I respect your opinion, Nick.
Best friend.
And in any given situation, I would default to you and let you do your thing. And then when it didn't work, I would do my thing.
That's right, Luke, because you have a God-given constitutional right to be wrong. This
Right.
is called the First Amendment.
That's what friends are for.
And if your thing worked, I'll be like, hell yeah, buddy, that worked. Way to go. Teach me that. But if it didn't work, then I would do my thing, and I'd be like, and I know my thing would work because see, I'm a hammer. I'm a hammer, and it's a hammer. Everything's a nail.
The irony of all this is, if we took the previous conversation that we just had, that's all I'm asking. My problem is people won't try it my way. They've been trained to default immediately to the Luke solution, and
the Luke solution.
I do absolutely believe that there are some
Scorch the earth and salt the ground.
Yeah, no, I mean, I believe mental remedy is a thing. There are some people, I've met some truly evil people in my time, and I don't use that word but I believe there is an obligation as an intellectual being, as someone who can think, as someone capable of empathy, and as a Christian, I would want everybody I engage with to do everything possible not to have to put me in the ground.
Right. I agree.
And so I do believe with great power comes great responsibility, and the police have a limited license to kill. That means they have a whole lot of responsibility to have as many methods to not have to use that as possible.
You know, we keep talking about the police and stuff, but again, this is about political stuff.
Yeah,
my thought is here, I think people have tried, to say what T-Bunny said earlier, I think people have tried to be more intellectual and reasonable. Thank you, reasonable.
There's a huge frustration for it.
But
I think most of the time, the vast majority want to be reasonable.
Yeah.
And in the vein of being reasonable, let's talk wolves, man. Because Nerium is like.
Yeah, let's talk wolves. Yeah, we can come back to this.
Yeah. Nerium, how long do you have? Do you have a little bit of time with us?
Yeah. I'm pretty cool.
Okay, cool. Well, let's finish this trail, and then we'll get into we'll cleanse with wolves. Because we need to cleanse with wolves. Because all right, so here's another thing that I am entirely against. Okay? So, beyond book banning, efforts to criminally charge librarians.
Oh, man.
Okay. So, censorship is a problem, guys. I really think, we're seeing it happen. Now, I will say what we saw with Roald Dahl is left. That's progressive. What we're seeing here, I believe, is militant conservatives.
Yeah.
That have lost their desire for reasonable action.
Yes.
Okay? And so their thought, the Luke solution, their thought is we're going to have to hit hard so that they know we're serious. I wonder if they think this is a warning shot or if this is like, hey, we're going to wing them. But this is not the first there's a series of articles that we're going to look at briefly. This is not the first time that legal action has been taken against material that is pornographic in its content, but it's also geared towards children. So this article is about this. So back in October of 2021, a special prosecutor declined to pursue criminal charges against the library staff at the Campbell County Public Library in Gillette, Wyoming. Community members filed a criminal complaint alleging the library committed a crime by disseminating obscene material to minors. Now, first off, I don't think libraries should ever be censored. That should be... Now, I think a school library might be different because it's for minors. But as far as a library goes, maybe there should be stuff that's on a shelf that your mom and dad have to check that out for you.
Public library.
Public library. This is a public library that they brought charges up against because they were disseminating obscene material to minors via LGBTQIA. Is that a minus or just a dash? Related material present in the library collection.
Yeah, which would be far.
I was like, have they added more things? I can't remember.
I lost track in 2018. I just lost track.
So while librarians breathe a sigh of relief after the case was thrown out, we may have to brace for new laws aiming to remove certain legal protections for libraries and librarians. As of February 9th, 2022, two such attempts are Indiana Senate Bill 17 and Iowa House File 2176. So in the state Nick and I preside, and in Iowa, I'm not happy about this. My wife's not happy about this. She worked as a librarian. You know, we're back in Indiana. She's looking for a job. Asked, do you want to work? Why? You know, she's interviewing at a bank. She it looks like she's got the job over there.
Cool.
And they asked, well, why don't you want to work in the libraries again? And she knew this was coming. So she's like, no, I just don't. She let it go. But she didn't want to get into the fact that she goes, doesn't feel it's fair that some of her coworkers could become a class 3 felon?
Yep.
Because a kid checked out a book that a parent didn't like. Because the parent wasn't involved enough to be there with their kids. Now, this has gone crazy here. But let's go to why it got crazy. And this affects us a lot. And people said, Luke, you shouldn't cover such difficult topics. Well, I do what I want. And what I want is to stand my ground. I'm against censorship, but I'm also against grooming. And I think we should be against grooming. So special prosecutor rejects criminal complaint filed against Campbell County Public Library. So here this is another article concerning this. It mentions some books that are involved with it. And they all feature LGBTQA plus one. I think the number 1 is in there now. I can't remember. Related issues. It's nothing new to the Office of Intellectual Freedom. So there's another article that talks about it but mentions some books. We don't really need to go over that so much. We'll go into this next one. But there's a book that is, I don't have the tab. The most banned book of 2021 is a book called Genderqueer, put out by Oni Press. We've covered Oni Press.
Should make the distinction that that's a graphic novel.
That's a graphic novel, okay?
Mm-hmm. Not a book.
That is a graphic novel produced by Oni Press, someone that's in our news. That's our sphere. That's part of the reason why we're talking about this, because that's our sphere. It's where we live. This started with them. I'm going to show you how, okay? This started with something that they did, but they're working to correct the problem. And we're gonna cover that too, because there's some good to it. All right. So librarians can now become a felon if they allow pornographic material. I'm against grooming. And so the Christian conservative in me says, whatever we got to do to protect our kids, do it. The libertarian in me says censorship is bad. Parents should be responsible for what their kids see, not teachers and not librarians. It should be the parents' responsibility. And if a grown adult, insists on showing pornography to a child, then yeah, they're a predator and they need to be dealt accordingly. Right? So all of these things, these logical things, are going on in my head with this. But I'm also like, if you want to write a book, you should be able to write it. You should put it out there. You should produce that. And you should be able to raise your kid the way that you want to raise your kid. So there's all these logical things that are coming up. So I'm anti-censorship. I'm anti this thing to put librarians behind bars. But I'm also anti-grooming. And so you kind of have to try to balance all of these things. But it's gone to, you know how they say crap rolls downhill?
I'm just letting you talk.
Crap rolls downhill. And it's rolling downhill with librarians.
Yep.
Because Oni Press, they were being sued for 2022's and 2021's most banned book. Oni Lion Forge. This was written in 2022, June 30th. Oni Lion Forge is being sued for obscenity-related. I can't pronounce his name. Maya Kobabe's genderqueer. This is their response. So we had a. We'll get to the gist of it. Basically, this book had a pretty graphic depiction of homosexual sex. And as you can see, the style is more childlike, and it was available through Scholastics, I believe. Am I wrong, Randy? You covered this first on Zemcast. Nobody's talking about this.
No, nobody has ever talked about this in the comic media because it's a black eye. But I believe it was solicited through Scholastic. I believe it was also solicited through the library system and promoted as a very positive gender identity book. And
it would have been if you took out the sex stuff. If you took out the graphic depictions of sex, it would have been fine.
And we're talking
for kids.
We're talking so graphic that if we were to run the sequence or show the sequence here on YouTube, we would automatically be banned, and the channel would probably be shut down.
Yeah, I can't show it to you.
Yeah,
it's bad, guys. It's bad.
And it's not the fact that they did a gender identity book. It's the fact that they put that graphic imagery in it. They promoted it to kids on purpose, then they boasted about it.
Yeah. Nerium, you were saying something?
Yeah, when we were talking about the libraries and librarians, you just kind of brought me back into my past, and I remembered I was a huge library nerd, and we had this amazing library, which was divided into stairs. You know, the first floor was for grown-ups, and literally until you reached like 18 years old, they wouldn't even let you in, right?
Yep.
And I remember that on our floor as kids, when we used to go there, you would find stuff like this, you know, like about sexuality, but it was all educational, you know, like it was all approached in a in educational manner. The moment it becomes something else than literally science, you know, it's called pleasure, and it doesn't belong into hands of children.
Right.
So I don't know. I would probably place this book onto the first floor, and maybe allow, you know, young adults who, you know, after a certain age.
I think we all here understand that we have the right and the privilege to do whatever we want, but we also have a responsibility with all of these freedoms that we have.
Okay.
You know?
Can I wade into this from the
Please.
Actual librarian perspective?
Please, yeah.
Before I go in a little quick. I've been I was a librarian for nearly 3 years. I've been a library volunteer for most of my life at different points. My wife is the director of the Benton County Public Library.
This hits home. It's close to home for you.
This hits incredibly close to home, and the problem is this is nowhere near new. Most people don't know it, but librarians are an incredibly radical lot, and they have to be. For example, upon founding of the Department of Homeland Security, and when it wove in a whole lot of organizations, because it was a conglomeration of, I want to say, 30 some odd governmental organizations all went under one banner. They came to the libraries and said, you need to provide us with the reading lists of what everyone checks out at the libraries. And librarians said,
that's...
yeah. No, seriously. And the librarians said, no, you need a warrant. And they couldn't get a warrant, so while they started debating the laws, all the way across the librarians, they stopped tracking. That's why you can't go to your library anymore and say, oh, I can't remember if I read this book. They don't track it anymore.
Sorry, we don't keep that
data, because librarians are very big on protecting people's rights.
Privacy.
And privacy and right of expression. The Constitution, the solution to the vast majority of the problems we've heard about discussion and what people can say and can't say is a very simple thing. The right of free speech and the right of free press means the government can't come in and do it. And anytime they try to censor it, it is oppression and wrong. This means that if there's something I don't like, I have to tolerate it because people have the right to say it. That's why if the Satanists want to put up a statue to Baphomet on their property, even though I'm not comfortable with that, they have the right to do it. That's why certain things have to appear. Now, libraries is easily solved by a matter of cataloging. If it gets cataloged as an adult book, you need an adult library card to get it. You also, to get an adult library card, if you're under the age of 18, your parents have to sign off. By signing off, that becomes the parents' responsibility, that they are comfortable knowing that their kid has access to every book in the library.
True.
And I'm going to go further.
That's a great way to do it.
Because this book needs to be preserved. It needs to be preserved as a point in history. Roald Dahl's books need to be preserved as a point in history.
Absolutely.
Because you know what I see? I see commercials right now. Oh, we could just Photoshop that out. Yeah. We live in an era where everything digital can be edited and rewritten.
Yeah.
At this point, the only thing you can trust to stay relatively stable is an acquired hard copy. And that are, much like cash, the systems of power do not want us to have things that are solid. People don't want actual accountability. They don't want the history to be written in stone, because that's what happens.
Right.
And it is a librarian's sacred duty to preserve the ideas of others and disseminate them, even if they're bad ideas, because we need to have the right to be critical think and to analyze. Because if you don't have a record of what the bad guys did, history will repeat itself, because the bad guys will play the same game they always do. And sometimes you need to look back and find, wow, there's some good ideas. There are, the preservation of knowledge. Knowledge is being lost at a monumental speed right now. Because...
But Nick, like, even taking away the connotation of evil, like, mistakes need to be recorded too.
Yes.
Maybe her intentions were pure, but it was a huge mistake to put like graphic depictions of sex to kids.
Oh,
so that
right.
mistake should be
right. And that's why I said, if it has graphic nudity, And just about any librarian worth their library card would look at this and go, this doesn't belong in the children's collection.
Yep.
And see, one of the things that's happening is radicals are being hired into these positions. And so where you've got one side that is trying to police what you think and say and see, you've got another side trying to police what you think and see and say.
That's why you have the Constitution.
At no point in history
they don't get to police what they say. You don't get to police what we say. Nobody gets to police what we say.
Yeah. At no point in history has the ones that have forced someone else into their ideology or forced them into submission been the good guy. I mean, has it ever been the case?
Dude, I'll say it again. The fenestration sounds like a great concept. We can
right.
like
So
the
problem we have with this book is right here.
Oh.
Stonewall Honor Book, American Library Association.
Yep.
It might be a great book, but it was marketed to kids.
Yeah. And honestly, I have not seen the content. So there's a whole lot of me.
I advise you not to.
No, see,
it's
that's
pretty
the problem.
graphic.
I do not. Oh no, it's graphic. And I understand that your former pastor tendencies come out and blanch at nudity and things, but I'd have to see it and review it. That's called being critical thinking.
Yeah.
Because you have that. You also
I have reviewed it, my friend.
Good. Well, what I'm saying is, you also have you're a parent. If you don't want your kids reading this, that you want to talk about whose job it is to defend your child against groomers, that is your duty.
My job.
It isn't the government's duty. It's not the librarian's duty.
No,
it's not the teacher's duty. They can share whatever ideas they want. When you come home and you have a child, it is your job to protect and educate them to the best of your ability. And what I hear is a bunch of people, well, my kid could have. Was your kid exposed to this, or are you worried your kid's going to be exposed to this?
Well,
and
in some cases, kids were exposed because there is a bit of a problem when I am trying to protect my kid and somebody else is circumventing my authority, and that's what this and that's what that law I think is about. Because look at what happened here. So this lawsuit was thrown out because of a couple of things. They say not all relevant parties were included in the petition. Okay, so the sale or commercial distribution of the obscene book. For this, so it says, according to this section of Virginia law being addressed, the primary target of the law is the actual referring to the sale or commercial distribution of the obscene book. For this reason, the petition should include the author, publisher, and all other persons interested in its sale or commercial distribution. So not just the publisher, but they said you should have included the distributor, you should have included the author, you should have included the point of sale, the library itself, or the stores themselves. Then they said that the lawsuit itself was bad. So the second point that Oni made uses to respond to the Anderson-Altman petition is that the law 18.2-384 itself is faulty for two reasons. The first is the more obvious one, that Oni's response argues that the obscenity law is unconstitutional and violative of due process and free speech rights guaranteed by the United States Constitution and Constitution of Virginia, both facially and as applied. So I agree with that they should have the right to make whatever they want. But the problem is, in this lawsuit, what they're trying to do is, because it was targeted to kids, it falls under this idea of grooming. Like, why would you give graphic depictions of sex to children? Why would you do that? So they give a couple other reasons, But basically, Oni Forge, they argue that the petition lacks standing. And they won that petition. They won their argument. And it was thrown out.
Yeah.
Now they...
On a technicality. Yeah.
On a technicality.
On that technicality.
On that technicality. So what happens is... Oni knows they've screwed up. They've gotten very lucky. And they screwed up. And so what happens is they start having a number of layoffs starting in July. So that article was in June. Starting in July, they start laying people off, right? But the people that were upset about this kind of material, they realize I can't go after the publisher because now I've got to go after everybody. Because they're saying that everybody has to be included, which would include the librarians. So this one county, guess what they do? Crap rolls downhill, folks. They go after the librarians. Because someone was not responsible with their freedom. Yes, we have the freedom to produce it.
It's not necessarily that as much as the librarian probably got a huge stack of books in that week, never bothered to sit there and go through page by page by page because they were told that it was children friendly.
Right. So you know what's happening right now? There's a teacher that actually just lost her job because there's only like 3 months of school left. And at the beginning, they knew this was happening. So this was happening back in July of June and July of 2022. So back then, they went to the media centers in the school, right? They're not doing this at the public library. They're doing it in the school libraries because they know they kind of run by a different set. My wife was a librarian in a media center at a school.
Okay, that's a very different library education system.
Yes.
This was marketed to all of the libraries, school
to
and
all,
no, I know. I've at least seen this. I've probably handled this book.
You probably have,
I have actually flipped through it now that I'm looking at it.
I support the guy's right, the person's right to make this and to publish it, and Oni's right to put it out. It's probably very informative if you're going through those things, but I wouldn't market it to children.
It's the creator's personal story.
Yeah,
and the thing is that the editor should have known that there's a couple of panels here that are going to get us in trouble.
Yeah, we need to.
And they probably did know. Is the thing. And they pushed it in anyway, thinking that they were getting away with something.
They're more likely, I think, on this one is it went to if it was in the children's collection, which I would love to see. I really want to know which collection it's in, because if it's in the adult collection, every second scrap of argument is right out the window.
Oh, absolutely.
For Scholastic putting it in
well, I'm sure it's in the adult section now.
Yeah. Well, it is.
That being said,
but this was available in schools,
yes.
in school libraries. Yeah,
and it would, like I said, I have to fully see it before I judge, because I don't like to argue. And I am sorry, you came in on the spiciest day.
This is the spiciest one we've ever had.
You want to know who tells Luke? Hey, Luke. You know what? Maybe we should leave high-level political conversations to high-level pundits who actually, maybe fully.
They don't know what they're doing.
No, of course, Luke. Because the expertise of a former pastor and a comic book creator far outstrip those who
look. We're talking about censorship, and this is my field. And in libraries, that's your field.
Yeah, no,
we're perfectly geared to talk about this.
That's why I'm like, this one makes sense. But
so this is crazy. We do know that it was available to children, and we do know that it was marketed.
That's the big problem.
Yeah.
That's where all of the obscenity charges spring up from. It's not that the book exists. It's that the book was marketed to kids.
Yeah.
With this graphic depiction. And we're dealing with a graphic medium here. We all know comics, and we've all seen plenty of sensitive material that is,
Yes.
how do you say, gracefully handled.
Right. Yeah.
This wasn't it.
No, it was
and
not.
It should have been.
This was the publisher's problem.
Yes.
This is where responsibility
and the
goes.
creator's problem.
And yeah, this was their problem. And because they dropped the ball and made a mistake, now we're dealing with laws that affect people that we know personally.
All of us.
All of us. And it's going to make it very hard for any graphic novel to get available in libraries and school libraries, even when you donate them now.
A lot more difficult.
So what I was saying is they pulled all of the books in the media center. And one teacher went down and showed it's 3 months left in school, and they have no books in there because now they have to go through hand, one at a time, by hand, and review every book.
Yep.
To make sure that it doesn't have any graphic depictions of sex.
Because they've shown that they can't be trusted.
Yes. Because the publishers have shown they can't be trusted.
Yeah, and
now it creates all work for the librarians.
Yes.
I looked through and I actually looked up what they were talking about to see is it appropriate? No.
Yeah.
Have I seen dramatically worse? Yes.
Aimed at kids, though.
That's the angle.
That's the angle.
Because what it is, the depiction is someone daydreaming about ancient Greek, and it's depicted as if it was drawn on a pot or a shield of a older man fondling a younger child. Because, like I said, I had to know what I'm talking about before I could talk about it. That makes it inappropriate. You put it out there. That's why you don't find porn in libraries usually.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, true.
Usually. Some libraries have them.
But the vast majority of time, I can see why that does look grooming. So you pull that to adults. You go after the company and the maker,
Which they did.
and then you just walk away, because what that is that's a freak show. But by banning it, two things happen. By pushing to ban it instead of saying it needs to go in the adult collection. And I can actually run a mild parallel. There is a graphic novel called Blankets. I can't remember the author. I read it in college as part of my graphic novels as literature course.
Was that Chris Ware? I might be wrong.
I think so. That sounds right. But I'm horrible with names. It is a thick volume. I mean, it is like phone book thick. And it depicts at points him and his kid brother doing crazy stuff like running around naked, peeing on a bed. Because of crazy, and it's crazy crap. But it was a depiction of, I'd say, deviant behavior, but not sexual deviant behavior.
Yeah.
And there was depictions of sex and discussions of sex throughout it. But it was an adult book, and it was in looking back. He was talking about his life, but there was no male. No age difference stuff. You didn't see any. So I can see.
If I remember right, the book was properly labeled for mature audience.
Yes, I believe it was, and see that's right. I have no problem saying for mature audiences and go with it. From a library standpoint, I don't think it should be banned because I'm still against censorship. Yeah. I do think you put it in the adult collection,
right?
Because you have to have things that are inappropriate, and even if that's something that's called back to later as a sample of what the decadence can be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, labeling
that's well said, Nick. I like that. Yeah, that's well said.
No. But my problem, I said, my problem is how easy it is to slip for both sides into, censor what we don't like. Why are you censoring what you don't like?
Snoring.
It really needs to be the buffet.
Is Bunny snoring?
Bunny snoring. Yeah.
Yes.
But
I don't know if he's being facetious or if he's actually.
no, I think he's actually snoring. He worked all night.
Bring him up to full stream, please.
I muted him for a second.
Oh, poor T-Bunny.
Oh.
T-Bunny.
His head is merged with an action figure.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, he's out. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him small again. We're going to leave him up there so he can wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's adorable.
That conversation
You know what?
put him right out.
I hope T Bunny gets some sleep and he has happy dreams.
See what you
Yeah.
did, Nick?
look what we
What-
did.
what- oh. Hey,
So-
buddy. Hey, buddy. How you doing? You're big again. You're big again. Hey, buddy. Do you feel better? Do you feel better?
You went out for a second, bub.
Dude,
You
it
don't have
happened
to be
to me
mean.
too.
Come on,
I
folks.
just didn't get
We're not
caught.
being mean. I love you, brother. I know you worked all night. Yeah, that was rough. At first we're like, what is that sound? I'm like, oh, that's T.
Yeah, dude.
We bored T Bunny to death.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Can we, because it's past 11, and we have a lovely guest who's endured.
Yes.
yeah, dude.
But we've got one more article. Two more articles. I want to show what's happened here, okay?
Yeah.
So Oni Press, in August of last year, this article came out.
Is there a
And
moral
it's-
to this story?
There is.
Hi, buddy.
They reaped the whirlwind of their failure, is what one staff member said. Okay? Now, fast forward. Had a lot of layoffs. Check this out. Oni Press. This article just came out this week. This is brand new. This is why I wanted to bring this up today. Because look at that wonderful face. Look how happy she looks. This is article from February 21st, 2023. People in the move. Sierra Han takes over as Oni Lion Forge editor-in-chief. Okay? Oni Lion Forge Publisher Group has named Sierra Han as its new editor-in-chief, responsible for executive oversight of publications and editorial staff, as well as creative oversight. She started her career in the public department of the DC Comics imprint Vertigo in 2005.
Okay.
They were doing pretty good back then, right? Then moved to Dark Horse Comics 2 years later as an editor. There she was responsible for Gerard Way, Sean Simon, and Becky Coulinen's True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys. Jeff Jensen and Jonathan Case's Eisner Award-winning Green River Killer, and licensed comics including Buffy the Vampire Slayer and The Strain in 2015. Han went to Boom, another great studio, as the executive editor. Okay? So she's
This
really
sounds like
been
a lady I want to support. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's
a good hire. This
But
is a good hire.
That's what a good hire is, regardless of gender orientation or anything else.
Right.
This is just.
And she came from Vertigo, so you know she understands more adult content. Right.
Yeah.
Good hire.
I don't know
right?
if this can be taken the wrong way, but she's been around, man.
Yeah.
She has.
No. Yeah,
She is a solid hire. Look who else they hired.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oni hires Third Eye Comics manager to head up the sales team.
I don't like
This guy is now in charge of digital marketing and selling the book. Okay?
Dude,
He's
looks
joined
like-
Oni as a senior sales manager. What's that?
He looks like somebody who owes me $50, man. I don't like him. He looks just like that guy.
I don't like her. I don't like him as much as Hannah.
Throwback vibe test.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Torma came to the store a 2011 Eisner Spirit of Retailing nominee in 2008. So he's been and it looks like what is this down here? At Oni Press, he will be responsible for expanding the publisher's footprint in the direct market as well as the book channels and library market.
So he'll be in charge of what goes to.
So they're not going to have this problem again.
Good.
Yeah.
Wait. I'm sorry. They had somebody who was incompetent. They canned him, and they hired 2 people who look like they could make sure that they will never have that problem again.
That's
Right.
That looks like
what they did.
competence. Can we
Right.
get some? Can the government get that idea?
Look, that's what I. So we went through all of that because I wanted to say, look, there's a silver lining at the end of this storm cloud. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted to talk about the mess up that Oni did, but I don't want to talk about the mess up. The only reason why I wanted to talk about it this week is because it's relevant to news that happened this week. Because 7 days ago or 6 days ago, that bill was presented, and it became a real impact for people Nick and I know.
Yeah.
And it became a real issue for us as writers and artists who make comic books and graphic novels. What we're dealing, but we're still going to have to deal with the fallout from that screw up.
Yeah.
For years.
Right? For years.
We're
at least
about how comics are porn again.
Yeah, but at least Oni Press is working on fixing their problem.
True.
So Tuesday night I decided not to have a conversation because I was tired. But what I wanted to talk about was where censorship lies, like who's responsible. I don't think that the library. I think censorship. Everybody holds a little bit of responsibility. The people that make the content should say, "Look, this is not suitable for all audiences." And I think that they should also, it should be on the retailers, it should be on the distributors, but ultimately it should be on the parents. It should be on the individual that's receiving the content. I don't consume content I don't feel is appropriate for me. Right?
Yeah.
We have to have some personal responsibility. We can't make it a law to put someone else make someone else in trouble for.
But wasn't this like Salt in the 80s? Like that label, parental advisory, explicit lyrics? Was it like Tipper Gore or Barbara Bush, one of those ladies? Like
it was Tipper Gore, yeah.
It was all of them.
Yeah, it was Tipper Gore.
Yeah, and they all did that. That was all.
Yeah, dude, and the thing is, like, this is being solved. Like, I don't think banning books is the right way to go, but we should label them, and people should be ready to do some work.
Well, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what the result of that was. People suddenly they're like, "Oh, I need to get this one with the parental guidance sticker on it."
Yeah, that helped in everybody's sales. It did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Walmart had one the one that had like the blocked out lyrics, and then the one with the parental guidance sticker, and everybody ignored the Walmart one and went straight to the parental guidance.
Yeah, it even got to a point in music where they would put in a couple of expletives in order to get that warning label because they knew it
just to
meant
get
more
it.
sales.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's the thing. Like that, as a responsible parent, when you see that label, you should listen to ECE. Bob your head in that car. Okay, is my car listening to bitches and guns? Okay, am I all right with that?
Right.
Know what your son or daughter is doing.
So what do they call that? The Streisand effect. Yeah, but what we're seeing right now,
Streisand, yeah.
What we're seeing in our culture is we've leaned so far one way, and anybody that combated it or said, "Hey, try to be reasonable," they got labeled an ist and a phobe, right? When they're like, "Look, I don't think that you shouldn't make that book, or that people shouldn't read it. I just don't think little kids should read it, right?" Or you can make whatever you want. I'm just not interested in buying it. And because I don't want to buy it, that doesn't make me a bad guy or a bad girl. I just don't want to buy it. I'm not interested in it. And because people were so radical and not Nick. They're the opposite of who Nick is. They push it. They push their things. And it causes people to lose their minds and get fed up.
Yeah.
And we're already seeing the beginnings of a cultural shift. That, guys, I'm afraid of what it's going to be.
There's something called it's a backlash. It's more of a backlash.
Yeah, we joke. I play that clip. I play this one.
Your actions have consequences. When you oppress people, they rise up in a fiery anger.
We joke about that, but I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people that have wanted to be reasonable, they've stopped being reasonable. And they are meeting the opposition with equal or greater craziness.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the problems is is that there's something that they call it's a marketing technique that they literally call it fan baiting. Okay.
Yep.
And this started with 2016
I'm
Ghostbusters.
back.
And,
welcome back.
well-
Guys.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's talk about the
Let's cleanse our palate with some good stuff, guys.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to get this lovely lady's stuff in front of us. One.
I'm going to bring her up there.
No,
I'm going to bring her
no.
way up here.
No, it just can keep me. Okay, never mind.
Oh no, you're fine. I'll keep you small. We understand the maybe I don't want big screen. First off, congratulations on sitting at 5,000 plus on your $2,000 goal. That's beautiful. I love seeing successful crowdfunds, and I am an absolute sucker for wolves. And this almost smells lycanthropic. So can you tell me about this title? Yes, finally. Zero, I tried. Look it up. I tried several times.
Hey, we're right on time. This is usually when we talk to the guest.
Yeah. It took a while.
We're right on
but we're
time. We are here.
Well, first of all, I apologize for my voice and everything.
Oh,
Yes.
you're
Oh, no,
fine.
you're fine.
Fine.
You're the
yeah.
guest. We're cool to have you. We
No,
work
it's,
around you
oh my
guys.
god, I'm so glad that you have me on. I'm just so like, I should have been here on time.
No, you're.
Oh, no
it
worries.
happens.
I wasn't here on time. Did you know that?
I fell asleep on
Yeah,
screen.
I
You're good,
actually
Nerium.
got panicked by your message about the router and the modem and everything, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I didn't get to do the bacon sizzling. I didn't get to run any of our intros. I didn't get to run any of our ads. I mean, this morning was rough.
Yeah,
This
but
morning was rough.
talk to the chat. Yeah, well, I had problems getting my. I've been fighting computer programs where the chat wouldn't open up so that I could read the chat. There have been issues on everybody's boxes today. But
gremlins.
did you get no question? But did you guys like the lack of intro? Hit us up in the chat so after we talk about her lovely stuff, and I may disappear, ma'am. If I do, it's not you. I have a wife. My wife has a. And
I know,
really
priorities.
love your artwork, and I really love what this book
Look
could
at this.
be. So please don't take it that way. Plus, I like the inexpensive tiers. I like seeing inexpensive.
Nerium,
tier
this looks amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, look at that. So
I
good.
I love that
it was a lot of work,
grayscale.
but it was also so much fun. We were having a bunch of streams where we were like comparing, what is the difference between black and white comic and a colored one, and I'm just like, like if you can color with the cross hatching and like tone with the cross hatching and using the screen tones and everything, you can pretty much add a pretty decent depth to everything. So
Oh yeah, this
I just
is.
love keeping this black and white.
I love it black and white. There's sometimes when I see things that color
Takes away
color
from
makes it worse.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm
like-
gonna do when there's like a huge wolf fight where there are gonna be like 10 of them, and how to distinguish them by color. So what I've been trying to do right now is to put some special marks on some of them,
Right.
that's
that's very
you can know
creative.
it's the wolf. And yeah, like story-wise, we pretty much like left off. With the first book, we left off at a point where young werewolf Lena, she's been promised the training, right, to get stronger and so on, because there are some threats at the border. Not primarily because she would like to become, because her grandfather would be like fond of the idea of her wanting to become the alpha or become strong, but like safety measures.
Right.
So she, in the second book, she actually does start the training on a secluded barn with her younger brother Jesse, without any other witnesses, because they don't want other trainees to know that the girl is being trained. But at some point, Rick allows them to take a peek at the older boys' training, and she actually butts head with this other wolf, this newcomer to the pack, that like he's been surrounded by rumors and this weird vibe, and she just can't figure out what it is. And the rumors says something about the cursed wolf, and she needs to figure out what it means because, according to rumors, it can bring prosperity or complete destruction to the pack. So she needs to find out whether this new wolf in the pack is a possible threat or not, right? And along with that, she needs to handle her own training and interaction within the pack and everything else. So there's going to be a lot of trainings like passages where you can see how they work out. There's going to be like a lot of wolf interaction. There's going to be danger at the borders. And towards the end, it's going to get darker because she is actually going to wander off somewhere where she shouldn't. And that's going to bring some trouble.
Nice.
Nerium, how long have you been drawing?
Since I was 3.
Yeah, you have just got a fantastic style.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And dude, like the action sequences are so kinetic. Like you can feel the movement. That's really well done, Nerium. Like I like that. I like that a lot.
You really get sequential storytelling.
I actually got very inspired by this. I think he's Korean manhwa author. His name is Boichi, and he created a book Sunken Rock, and he has a very, very peculiar and detailed style of drawing the motion with speed lines, and I just love that. And I tried to put it in the first book, a little bit less in the second book, because I'm starting to notice that with second book I reverted back into my typical hand style and writing.
Look at that page, man.
That's great.
You can feel the headbutt. Yeah, you feel the headbutt. You feel like the ducks flying off. It's awesome, man.
You feel that impact against the tree.
Yeah.
Like,
And you feel the fear in his eye. Look. That like, oh crap.
Oh crap.
Yep.
This is the most visceral thing I think I've seen since Watership Down.
It's
You
very
get
good.
what I'm saying? That sort of
Yikes.
okay.
Can I play your trailer?
I'm gonna give you out an Easter egg. There's only one black wolf in the whole pack, and that is Lena.
Oh, okay.
So if you just by any accident come across a black wolf, that's my girl.
Very cool.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning the perks and everything, we try to like make everything possible for people who would like it digital, for people who didn't read the first book, and also different mixtures of printed copies, printed versions. So everything is available. What I forgot to mention, and I probably shouldn't have, is that the 77 pages of a comic are accompanied by extra 22 pages of a short story written by Red Gaze.
Okay.
It's actually called Exiled. And as Bonds 2 is about the cursed child, Exiled is like an origin story of this young wolf, so the reader will know where he came from and what led him here and why, and all the reasons and everything. It's like full of action. And like the action doesn't stop from page 1 till the end, which is really, really, really cool.
Yeah, these are all very reasonable price points. I'm gonna play your trailer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
77 pages. That is nice. How many pages was your first one?
72.
Okay. Your first campaign did really well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It was really awesome, but that was like thanks to like so many like people shouting it out and
Well, the market's a little different now, isn't it? It's a little. Now, is this your first 30 or second 30?
That's the first 30. I think what made the difference is that this year, this campaign, I'm fulfilling from Europe, so the shipping changed a little bit for the US market. Maybe people got discouraged by that. I don't really know.
Well,
But I can tell you that it is completely worth it.
Yeah, look, it's not you.
No.
Everybody that's
It's not you, it's
crowdfunding,
me.
even on Kickstarter, people that are outside of our normal space for promoting, everybody's numbers are lower. In fact, we started off this morning talking about an article that talks about book sales are down and manga's down the book sales are down 17%, I think is what it was. Was it 17 or 13? I think it was 17. 60% of that is manga sales. So yeah, it's everybody's down. You know, it's because of the uncertainty in our world right now.
Yeah.
So, but you're doing really well. You're doing really well. Let's go and play this. Let's go and play this trailer.
I just want to address the question. We don't have a web store for now, but with the third book, we're actually considering to get together a blood bond books where you will acquire bonds, products, Sunsworn from Red Gaze, and pretty much other projects that we're working on currently. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Very good. All right, let's check this out. Can you guys see that?
No.
No, we see. Let's see. Exit full screen in the blur.
Let me fix that. I don't know what's happening. We'll do it this way. Here we go.
We are the most professional show on YouTube right now.
I'm doing new things and it's not working well. Like I've been having. It's like I moved to Indiana and everything that I had been doing for years everything's different now. I don't know. It's like a different. Just because I'm in a different state, it's weird. Let's try that again. Very cool, very cool.
Yeah. The training sequence makes it feel like an 80s like martial arts movie, and I love that fact.
Yeah, it kind of has a almost like a Karate Kid vibe.
Yeah, I have to ask you something. Between your commentary and the setup of how a girl was trained, you don't know me from Adam. But I've been teaching people Western martial arts for 20 years. I specialize in teaching women, and when teaching women, especially around men, oftentimes they were more comfortable to be off. So, have you done any martial arts training yourself, or because your insight was like somebody who's been involved with it? So, I'm genuinely interested.
I was always very, very intrigued and interested in all of that, but actually no. I used to be like a basketball, volleyball, but never more martial arts.
Okay.
But I did some research, a lot of research on everything, because the pack and all the packs, my werewolves in the story are built in a way that once you run out as a human into a forest and you need to shift into your wolf, and technically you come back, you can't have any weapons, any guns, any swords, any everything. You're gonna lose all of that. So all you basically need to protect yourself in your human form are your limbs and your brain.
Technically you'd lose your clothes too.
Yes.
But we don't draw naked people.
I did.
You did?
I did. It was in the trailer. Did you notice?
Oh, I saw. Yeah, I noticed that. Ooh, ooh, it's
But
like
it was
yeah,
done tastefully. You see, that's
done very
different.
tastefully. So,
Yeah, no.
what would you consider this all ages? Because I consider this all ages.
Well, that's the thing. In the first book, there is a little bit stronger language in certain passages because I really do think the scenes and the character required it.
There you go.
What I tried to do is at least censor it with a star, so the character doesn't say like "f you,"
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's just to do the star thing. And another part of censorship. Oh my God, we're talking wild animals. We're talking love, so of course there's gonna be blood.
Well, yeah. Well, I think some of those things are more acceptable than sexual content.
Now, isn't that
all day long?
I find that
Yeah.
fascinating, and that's always been one of the things about censorship that has bothered me, frankly. That sex is so demonized, and nudity is so bad, but you can show people being eviscerated, and death and murder and mayhem. Much.
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
No, I find that fascinating because that's a uniquely American perspective.
Not really. Down in Latin America is the same thing or even worse.
Really?
Catholic countries.
Yeah, Catholic
That makes
countries,
sense.
We don't do sex well. Like people still do like turn out the lights and whatnot. So
I do it well.
Well, I just gotta say that at some points bonds will become a little bit like romanticized.
Sure.
And I'm not even ashamed to say that this story has literally everything. It is like growing of age, it has adventure, it has action, it has a little bit of horror, it has everything. So at some point where the characters are old enough, I'm going to emphasize it, old enough, mature enough, maybe there are going to be scenes like that because it's part of life. It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
And it's and that's fine. We don't. We obviously don't have a problem with that. We just we want for our viewers to know who is this marketed to? Like, is it just werewolf lovers?
It doesn't have restrictions. At the end of the campaign, there's a secret formula that says that violence and stronger language might be included. Bear it in mind. So if you're a strict parent that has a 13 years old or 15 years old and they don't like swearing at all, no, this is probably not book for you because there might be like 2 swears, right? In the whole book. But I really do think this is a book that could appeal from 11 up.
Okay, cool. I think it looks great. I think I want to get a copy for my daughter.
One thing that's built into censorship is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing things I've ever watched was there was a school board meeting where a lady was reading to them a book that the school board, or that the National Education Board had forced them to put into curriculum, that her daughter was being required to read, and she was reading it to the school board, and the school board muted her mic, told her, "You how dare you read that in here? There's children present." And she's like, and she was off mic, and she's like, "That's what I'm talking about."
That's what I'm trying to say.
So
this looks like a really good book. So for $45, I can get the physical.
Bounce 1 and Bounce 2.
For both. That's a really good deal.
Yep.
We don't normally go over the tiers because our viewers are grown adults and they're smart and they understand how campaigns work. So they normally go and find their own thing.
Words are hard.
Sure. What tier would you like us to see?
There's the tier called Wolf Yourself.
Wolf Yourself.
Where's that? Wolf
It's one of the more expensive tiers.
But Wolf number 4.
Includes
Wolf Yourself.
Yeah, nice.
Wolf Yourself. Hey, go wolf yourself.
Go wolf yourself.
Exactly.
Just call it like that. Go wolf yourself. You know what?
Neat. So you get everything. You get the book.
Technically, a backer who backs this perk is going to be sent a fillable form where they enter their name, height, weight, eye color, hair color, name of the wolf, blah, 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 everything, and they attach a picture to it. What I do is draw them in a traditional form on a paper with markers and everything as a human, as their human werewolf with their wolf. Then I scan it, put it in a computer, color it, and make a full-fledged character sheet of their character and their wolf. Then I print it, and all of this comes with the package with the comic and all the mini prints and the extra additional story. And also this character sheet is going to be sent to the owner by email in case they want to print it like a bigger size. So yeah, it's a high quality print. It's very customized, so one of a kind.
This is very cool. So guys, if you've got someone in your life that is like all about werewolves, like this is the tier to buy Piper. What happened? What did I do? Oh, I tried to buy it.
Piper, and she just took over your soul.
To buy it.
Said, hell yeah.
So yeah, it's like buy it for Piper. Like if you're like, this is the kind of tier. If you've got somebody that is
say it 3 more times and she shall appear.
I don't think it works that way. It's like not like Beetlejuice.
Or clicking your heels 3 times and.
Yeah, but this is what you get for that person.
Yeah.
So if you've got someone like that in your life right now, do them a favor and let them be a wolf. Wolf yourself or wolf them.
Yeah, wolf you.
Yeah, Piper needs this in her life. Grey Wolf.
I love our
We got Grey Wolf. Grey Wolf could get this.
Piper is aware of this book. She's aware of this book.
I think she already backed it.
Yeah, she has.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. Yeah, I'm sure she backed it day one. She was ready to go. But yeah, that's really cool. This is a really cool looking book. And
so one thing that's really interesting to me is most of the werewolf books we have are like human werewolves, and you went and you're basically the shape-shifting werewolves, and that's
I do the skinwalkers.
It's kind of unique to that folklore over there.
Yeah.
It's more like skinwalker
really
more
like
than lycanthrope.
And on top of that, I make my wolves a little bit schizophrenic because in your human form, you basically can always speak to your inner wolf in your own mind, in your own head space,
So it's kind of like an animus then.
Yes, it's like your own entity within you.
Yeah.
You always have your buddy.
Oh, well, that's neat. That is a neat take on that.
Yeah.
I like that. So what encouraged you, inspired you to make this book out of all the things you could make?
Well, I had the story in my head for a longer time, but I just didn't know what kind of take to take, right? So what kind of form to put it. And then I encountered this story, very similar story about werewolves, like the concept of people to turning into wolves and stuff. So I wondered, like, if I applied it on my story, whether it would look good. And I was just so surprised. And as I put it together, because the story isn't fully written, it's very organic and it's still evolving itself. I only have skeleton written, right? And I decided to put the muscles on it from my own life as well. And just to make sure, I just asked a bunch of people to read it and ask them, do you think this is okay? Do you think this is what, whether I'm not putting too much, of, I don't know, myself. I don't want to present myself into the stories that I'm making. But
you've got to put that connective tissue in there.
Yeah. This is just one of the characters. It was the easiest part for me to create the characters because I based them on people that I know. So I could imagine how those people would react in a certain situation, and it was like piece of cake. I based one of the main characters on my own brother, And it's just it makes writing and then drawing all easier and everything.
Yeah, but
it makes you feel like you know the people.
That's going to be awkward.
Right. Well, I think, I think good writers all do that. I do similar stuff. Like there's a piece of me in all of my characters so that I can have that personal connection, just like with all of my friends. There's something that I can connect with them that's similar to my personality. And then with all of my characters, there's a piece of other people. Like one of the characters is a lot more like my daughter. So even though it's not, I don't really treat that character like her, but that character takes on some of her personality.
Exactly.
And, I'm not Trash Man. I'm probably more Rev in real life. Like that's kind of who I am. Trash Man is basically who I aspire to be. So I write characters that I want to be like, if I could only be that kind of person, that's who I would be. But one of the characters is, and spoiler alert, I killed her, is my wife's is like based on my wife's personality. And Beth knows this. Beth knows this, right? And she's like, and she's known for a long time what was happening. And she was like, "Are you just trying to tell me something? Should I worry? Should I be afraid?" I said, No, don't worry. Don't worry. There's a resolution to this.
I would.
And
I would.
yeah, but you have to have that, I think, so that you care about the characters in the story. Because if you don't care as the writer and the artist, how am I supposed to care, right?
Yeah.
Like it isn't possible.
If I don't care, if I can put your book down while your character's in peril, you've failed.
Yep.
Right.
If I don't care enough about your character that I can walk away when they're in danger, then what's the point of your book?
Yeah. So let me draw some attention back to the beauty of this page, based on what we know now from our conversation. That Black Wolf is your main character.
Yes.
And she's fighting this other wolf and gets hit hard. And that realization that she's not ready is in that eye. Like I can feel her damn.
Actually, you're getting perfectly right, because like she's very young, and compared to everybody else that are out there, like all of them are trained to be defenders. They're defending rest of the peninsula. They're fighters, and she's
she's not instantly better than everybody and a girl boss.
No, I don't do that kind of stuff in my books. I'm sorry.
No, Mary Sue is. Guys,
actually,
I think.
I'm loving the fact that she gets her ass kicked a few times, so she learns by her mistake.
Yeah. I love that.
Character development. No way.
I applaud you. That's how you write a book. But look, I mean,
best teacher.
And the facial expression on the wolves. See, I'm a dog lover, and my dogs, they have facial expressions, and I know what they're thinking, based on their expressions, and you just did so well with this. I really like. So, how long was this story in development?
I technically started in 2020. By the start of 2020, when we got into lockdown, and everybody else went like into a slump, like, oh my god, I have a depression. I have too much time on my hands, and I was like, perfect time to get productive.
Yeah, that's what Nick and I thought.
Hi, Luke. I think we found another one of ours.
Yep, that's exactly what we thought.
Yeah, dude, it's like.
And then I tried to die. Whatever you do, don't try to die. It sucks.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you failed and died, Luke.
Originally,
failed
Bond
at
started
everything.
out as a literature. To be honest, I wanted to make it like illustrated book, but as everybody knows, I'm from Europe, and I think editing would be even more difficult than writing it. So, after realizing that story-wise it was good, grammar-wise it sucked, I decided to do what I know the best, and I drew it.
Well, okay. So, I love that you said that, because this type of communication, which is what we talk about all the time, and Randy talks about a lot, we really love and respect sequential storytelling on this show. Like that's my pinnacle. That's why I do what I do. Money's nice if you can get it, but it's really about this. It's about preserving the art form, and the fact that you went to this so that you can tell your story. This, you do not have to speak English to understand this, what I'm seeing on the screen. You do not have to understand English. We all understand this.
That's going to make it timeless. It's going to make it very international. I can see why this is doing so well. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Guys, I don't know what we're at on backers.
I have the same problem as you do because English is not my first language. So yeah, I completely relate to. People are gonna get what I'm writing. So yeah, you get an editor or you just
Pedro, but it's not your third language either.
Yeah, I do have a third language, but in the end, like slang and some things I say might not make sense to some people. I'm completely aware of that. So
that happens to English speakers. I mean, don't feel bad. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's so many regional dialects, especially in America. If you take somebody from southern Texas and you have them try to have a conversation with somebody from Boston, they're going to be.
You gotta pack the cat and have it yard.
You can't get that from here.
Boston.
I think it's everywhere. In my own country, it's the same thing. When you wanna like Western Slovakian meets Eastern Slovak, and they try to lead a conversation, it's kind of funny to watch.
Well,
I love the depth in the background.
Which ones are the rednecks?
Say again.
Do you have rednecks in your
No, actually we don't. We have I don't know if you're familiar with European folklore. That's probably the wildest thing we have.
We do have rednecks down here. Just darker.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah.
So here's what I really like about a book that's done in black and white. You have to understand value. I've seen a lot of people that do books in color, they don't understand value. They just throw colors. They maybe don't even really understand color theory. And understanding color theory and understanding value are vastly different. Yep. So you can have complementary colors, but you don't have enough value. And one of the tricks that I was taught was when you're done coloring, you apply a grayscale gradient map so that you can see the value. And if it gets dark and muddy and it seems flat, then you've messed up. Or if it seems too bright, you've messed up. Yeah. You have to have the full range from black to white. That's what I like about grayscale and black and white comics, because you have to use value. And I don't think that if you're trying to go out there and make comic books or color things, that you should attempt to do color until you understand value. You understand value very well. There's tons of depth. The light versus the dark, the contrast, it creates a hierarchy so you know how to follow the panel. I'm just going to gush over your artwork for a little bit, okay? Because
atmospheric perspective here.
Yeah.
It's very hard to. That's a hard concept to grasp. Like teaching students, like getting things get lower in value as they go away from you.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of harder to explain. It's like, okay, this is the vanishing point, and this is how you do perspective. This is more something that you have to experience more so. So
and things disappear.
Yeah, exactly. They fade.
Pedro understands. He's an animator because he has to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, just tremendous work.
I think you have a definite eye for texture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people, that many. You have many gradients in one panel, where, looks like they're on a mat. Then there's grass over here, and then there's like a soil over here, and then you got the wood on the barrel there.
Yeah, this page in particular, you go from this top panel where it uses a very dark background, but the characters are very light in contrast, to the bottom panel where you've got a very light, but you're using dark tones to draw to make the characters pop in the bottom panel.
That is actually a little bit of manga-ish feature, when you reach a point where your character might get lost compared against the background, you use a little bit of white cross hatching behind the whole drawing. I do it layer-wise. doing the layers always helped me. It helps me. So when I color or shade the whole character, and I see, oh, oops, there is something missing, like the head at the bottom panel, right, of Lena or Jesse. What I just did is added a layer underneath them and did some white cross hatching. That made it pop a little
looks
bit.
great. I love the texture you've put on this mat too, that they're working on.
That is
Very
actually
nice
a
work.
roof. The old a-hole actually made them train on a roof during the day.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Well, that
hot.
sucks.
Oh, that's a tar roof too.
That sounds like my dad.
And I love the ring light, like the backlighting that you've got here.
Oh, that rim lighting just
So good.
it was so good.
Nerium, you are very talented. Very, very talented. This story sounds like it's going to be very good. I did not read the first. I missed out on it.
You got it. You got it.
I got to catch up. Let's look at where you're at again. Let's see if we can get anybody to bacon wrap this a little bit for us.
Oh.
We're at 83 backers. Let's see if we can get anybody to jump on and back this project. It is worth backing, guys. 19 days left, the first 30.
It takes time, and I know that the shipping is a little bit,
Yeah.
But you're offering digital.
I am, and with the $12, people are getting the 72-page first book, 77-page second book, and 22-page short story, which is going to be illustrated, which is already illustrated. Oh my god, that's one of the things that I forgot to mention. Like, besides some lettered pages, the book is done. So basically, we're done with crowdfunding. We're going to wait a little bit longer, do some math on printings and everything, and it's going to get shipped.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Because over here
Very
we kind of
nice.
do the policy that we first finish the book and then we crowdfund it, because that's what we really do think that the backers deserve.
Yeah. We normally try to do that. I think there's Riff Riders was an exception for me. But most times our books are done before we run the crowdfund.
Yeah. I think
Man,
it
very
really
nice work.
fast on artists as well.
Yeah.
Friends, I absolutely love all of you, and this is a great campaign. My ding dong of doom is ringing, so I have.
Oh, I hear that. Nick, thanks for being here, bud.
So
That's how you call it? The
Thanks for
ding-dong?
holding down the fort while I was struggling with motor issues.
I set an alarm to make sure that I didn't get lost,
Oh.
and it literally is labeled ding dong of doom.
Yeah,
But,
we're talking about something completely different, man. Sorry.
No. Please support this
Ding
campaign,
dong of
guys.
doom.
Ding dong of
I
doom.
really want her to go really farther than where she is, because you need to talk to Pedro, because this needs to be animated.
I actually really wanted to make an animated trailer for the second movie, second comic, maybe for the third one. But yeah, it's a big dream.
Talk to Pedro. The rest of you guys.
Pedro, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Get Pedro more work.
Yeah.
Guys,
Happy belated
Vote for Pedro.
Pedro. I'll see the rest of you guys next time for Nerd Bacon. Be careful out there, okay, guys?
yeah, be careful out there.
Take
Take care, Nick.
Let's be careful out there. Oh, yeah. I love that.
I actually met Pedro before. I remember your art stream.
Yeah, we have been together in several streams.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, dude, I'm a fan, man. Like, I've always enjoyed your work. So, yeah, I mean, whenever you feel like animating something, let me know. Because this is gonna be fun.
So, is this your full-time thing that you do, Nerium, or?
Actually, not. I have a normal day job, and when I come from work, I just sit down and draw some pages and some art, and normal life.
What do you do for real work? Was what they
I
said.
actually draw.
You actually do draw?
I actually do draw. I draw into games a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Oh, neat. So you get to draw and then draw again.
Yeah, honestly, I remember once when I was entering this new when I was starting with this new job because I moved a year and a half ago and started this new job, and my grandma was telling me, "Careful, Katie, careful, because when you have your drawing only as a hobby, it's completely different than when you have to like draw at work and then you draw at home and everything. It's gonna be exhausting." I was like, "Nah."
Was
If
she
only I
right?
listened to my grandma. Yeah,
She's
some
right,
days.
isn't she?
Some
You know,
days,
it's
some
like,
days it's really exhausting. Like some days I come home and I don't feel like drawing at all. Sometimes it's even a week, and sometimes I'm in a slum and I need to like. The only thing that is kind of keeping me out of it is the discipline. You know, like you need to
Right.
sit down and do something. You need to draw a page. You need to draw a panel, something.
that's where a lot of people mess up. You know, it's like if you're a writer, you've got to write. If you're an artist, you've got to draw. You're not going to get better. You can actually lose your creativity if you just stop, you know, and then you'll not know where to get back into it.
And
It is
also
about
it's like a
discipline.
muscle.
even like you're losing that knack of drawing like impossible. You know, I remember that I got to a point where I was comfortable with drawing any kind of angle of the body, any pose, anything. And then I took like a month or two break, and then I took a pencil, and oh my god, I can draw anymore.
Right. Yeah, it gets difficult. Well, I used to do music professionally, and when you do, like, I didn't want to play. Like, it got to the point to where I was playing so much, I just didn't want to. I didn't pick up my guitars. I didn't sing because it was work. And when it becomes work, you know, it's a different story. Like right now, what I'm doing is I'm kind of a hired gun for people. So I do art all day, different various types of art, lettering and coloring. And it does become like, dang, it's been 8 hours at this, 9 hours. I just don't want to draw anything else. It does become work, you know, and so you do have to have a discipline, and you do have to do that. So I applaud you for drawing all day and coming home and finishing 77 pages of a comic book, which is amazing.
I'm very lucky that I live like 2 miles away from a pigsty. So whenever I don't feel like drawing, I go there and I look at people working, for real, picking up things. They're like, yeah, let's go back to drawing.
Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Very inspiring. Yeah, very good. I love it. Yeah, this is very good. Speaking of Pedro, here, you don't mind if I play this trailer? We have this campaign that's live right now, and Pedro did the animation that you see in here. Check this out. Lockdown Games and LukeStoneStudios presents Hybrids, the role-playing game. This core rules to the new Base Plus 2 game engine allows you to design your own character and create your own homebrewed adventure, complete with charts, maps, and every resource needed to dive right into the Hybrids universe on your own, or continue where the quick play left off with a brand new module. Get caught up on the series with the Killing Field trade paperback, enhanced with creator commentary and behind-the-scenes information. This special edition gives you even more value in entertainment. All this and more on Indiegogo.
That's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Are you using After Effects or are you using Spine?
Actually, I use a plethora of softwares. Like I use OpenTunes and After Effects mostly, but I compose in DaVinci Resolve. But yeah, like this style, like it goes quick and it's cheaper because I use your art. Like if I have to draw it, it takes more time and it's a little bit more expensive. But I've noticed that comic book artists like to see their art move. So that makes my job easier.
Yeah. Well, we're vain, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we kind of got to do at work as a part of our job, because if we're drawing characters, we need to make them move, and we're actually using spine. I'm just learning with it, so.
Yeah, the thing with spine is that spine gets to be a little bit limiting. So what I do is I separate the body parts by layers, and I apply spines to every body part.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of malleability within the limbs, but you can move it as a proper like paw or a head or whatever. So it's a combination of things. So you have to know how to rig it properly and how to make controls in After Effects.
Yeah, I know how to separate it into layers and into like body parts. Rigging is alchemy.
Yeah.
I'll probably never get down.
Yeah.
All right. So, speaking of lack of money is a powerful motivator.
Oh yes.
Nerium has. It's Katie, right?
Yes.
Is that your real name? Has put in these 2 digital tiers where anybody can really get into this. So, guys, what you don't realize is even when you donate or back a project like this, when you back it, it boosted in the algorithms as an algorithm booster. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is the way around people not being able to see things. Or, just saturation. Is get in there and back it. And back it at one of these lower levels. Back, get the digital. If you like the digital, then I'm sure she's going to have the full available. Like you can get the print later. Pedro, how's your mother?
Oh, my mother is in Washington D.C. right now. So you're sleeping now. You wanna crack at my mom? Go to D.C. Yeah, there's a fight for my mom's love between Pale Rider and Sugar Chris. So she's available. She's 77, but she's spry. I mean, this is an opportunity. I'll call you that, Sugar.
Pimping out your
Single.
own mother.
Single and ready to mingle.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's some kind of like payback because there was this joke going around that the Red Gaze and Sugar's mom,
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna open that up here because if I say Pale Rider three times, he's gonna actually appear in the show.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm spreading mommy love. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
everyone
not
got really
easy
quiet
at
like that.
all.
That was like really weird. That was more awkward than Nick and I going at each other
Dude, you know what's
over
more
violence.
You know what's more awkward? That my mom knows all this. Like she's aware that there's a fight for her love.
So she's looking for a couple of guys to roll up on her in DC, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
She's gonna pick the cutest one.
Yeah.
Oh, Sugar shows up in that red dress. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that would be a big plus.
it's on, right?
Wait. You mean this red dress?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or this red dress?
Exactly. That's
Oh,
what I'm talking about.
yeah. Hello,
Sugar.
Sugar. Oh
But I'm
man.
not gonna bully him because he's been actually very nice. He's been asking almost daily like how we've been. We're pretty much like down with viewers and stuff and blah blah blah.
And I'm really happy for Sugar. Like his channel's doing really well now. So, and it's all because of that red dress. So
Yeah, Sugar. I need to get a hold of you, Sugar, because I need to come on and promote. We're always supposed to be promoting, right, Nerium? It's impossible because we're
If I tell you that last week, and that's probably what pushed me to this illness. Last week I had normal day job schedule, so I don't know 8 to 4 or whatever, and then streams at around 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Almost every day. It was a killer.
Oh man, that would be tough, especially since the majority of now there's CG UK that you can go on, and they have a lot, and I like to promote with those guys occasionally. But the majority of these shows run off of Eastern time, no matter where they're at. That they kind of revolve around Eastern time, which can be super problematic for people like you in Europe, which is part of the reason why we decided to do we're one of the only morning shows, to do at 9 a.m. because then we can have people. There's two. Randy's got one that does it at 5 a.m. Eastern time, and it's called, and so.
Comics by Night.
Yep. By the way, check this out real quick. Comics by Night.
Play in the middle of the night or early Friday morning, depending upon where you are in the world. A group of experienced comics professionals get together to examine and instruct about the art form that they love. That's great comic artwork on Comics by Night, Fridays at 5 a.m. Eastern, here on the Indie Comics Network, indiecomicsnetwork.com.
What was that? This is not a charade.
We love explosions in America.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never a charade.
Explosion
The
just gave you an
rockets
extra.
wreck the air. The
May I add,
bombs bursting
tomorrow-
in air.
Exactly. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be taking an extremely close look at a very classic issue of Detective Comics that's near and dear to my heart because I picked it up off the stands when it came out. That's Detective number 443. It's the only time Batman and Paul Kirk Manhunter teamed up, and it's probably the first full comic that Walter Simonson did.
Nice.
The artwork. Wow.
Nice. So if you're not up at 5 a.m., be sure to watch that back in playback. I do watch the show.
Lesser of the Simonsons.
Yeah, I will play your shows in playback while I'm working.
Weezy was
through the day.
badass. Weezy's badass.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, absolutely. They're like equal talents in my mind. But,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm a writer. What can I say?
It's 5 a.m. Indie Comics Network. Always be promoting.
Always be promoting. Speaking of that, I do have to do a little housekeeping, guys. We're running a campaign right now too. Not doing as well as I would like. I understand that this is a lot of high ticket items, guys. So we're doing something. We've got an algorithm booster, algorithm beater. So everyone, I had to deal with a couple of things last week. You guys know that we're doing fundmycomic.com. Have you heard of that yet, Katie?
Yeah. I actually came across this campaign before you even promoted it. Just randomly popped up on my Indiegogo.
Awesome. So we're doing we're building our own crowdfunding site that is anti-censorship. Kind of all the things that we talked about today. We don't want that on there. Like, we don't want people to get censored. We want people to have freedom of expression. But at the same time, we're not going to allow any laws to be broken, and we're going to be responsible with the content that is presented. So no one under the age of 18 is actually allowed to use the site for legal reasons, because we're going to have this freedom of people to put what they want on there. But we also, because of the laws that we have to abide by with banking, we're not allowed to put any visual or any text. We can't have any explicit depictions of sex, whether it be in word or pictures.
Understandable.
Yeah, to keep it safe. But we've been working on that. We were supposed to launch that site, and we ran into issues on that. Things that did work stopped working, and things that should have worked easily became problematic. And so they went in and would try to fix it for the deployment, and then it just kept getting pushed back. And right now, kind of like, I think many of us have been in this state. When you're working a project that's an internal project, like Hybrids is internal. I don't get paid unless we sell the book, right? But when I'm working on somebody else's work, I get paid for that. Well, So I have to take on and be a hired gun for other people, and that pays the bills, and then I have to do extra work to be able to pay for my stuff. Well, the total investment for Fund My Comic is about $150,000. That's not mine and Todd's investment. We're just a nail sliver compared to that and what we've invested. But part of that internal investment now is that Serendum has to take on client work to be able to pay for the internal work that has to be done during testing and patching. So patches are written, they're in the process of testing, but doing work to be able to pay for the work is slowing the process down a bit. And so we're not going to release a timeline until we know the patches work, all of them. And so that has kind of put Fund My Comic on a TBD, to be determined on its outcome. We know it's coming. We're working on it. It's eventually coming. But in that time now, we've had to work. We can't just stop publishing books because my platform's not ready yet. So that's why we're on Indiegogo. We're going to try some Kickstarter. But we've had a lot of trouble with Indiegogo shadow banning and things like that. But we are on Indiegogo. So if you guys are thinking that you're going to hold out for Fund My Comic to back this project, please do not, okay? If I'm running a campaign on Indiegogo, it's because Fund My Comic's not going to be ready for a minute, okay? We're looking at not weeks now, we're looking at probably months. We hope that by the summer the site is up and people are onboarding to that platform. That is fingers crossed. That's what we're hoping for. But it's a lot of work, guys. When you're trying to slay dragons, it takes a long time. We are, eating an elephant, and it's a small group of people, 2 small companies that are doing this. And right now, the bulk of the work falls to Serendum, who has a great track record, and they have amazing reviews from all of their clients. So we know they're going to get the job done right. But they don't want to put the work out and bring people onto the site with it as glitchy as what it is. It would just be a mess, and you guys would hate it, and you would think these guys are jokers, and we don't want that. So we are running these campaigns on other platforms only because Fund My Comic is not going to be ready for a minute. It's going to be ready for a bit. So please don't hold out for Fund My Comic. If you're out there and you have a campaign that you need to run and you want to hold out for Fund My Comic, it's coming. But don't wait on us and it affect your business in a negative way. Run your timeline and your schedule, and when we have Fund My Comic up, it will be everything that we promised to you. And we will not launch it until it is. Right now, it is not everything we promised. So we do not want to give you access to it because it's not ready. But when it is, we will make sure that you see it. And so I really
think it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it is. The features that are going in are just absolutely amazing. And
it's just nice to see something new, after all the screw ups, from the big companies.
Yeah. The cool thing is Serendum is going to be on board for this for the long haul. And they're actually going to get booths. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to anyway, because screw it. They're actually going to get booths at comic conventions for Fund My Comic, so that they can promote that we have this site. So they're doing work even on our behalf, and we're going to help promote them, so that other people that do other kinds of crowdfunding can get brought on to their code that they're writing. And Dave Russell Jr., the owner of Serendum, this is a direct quote. He says, "Fund My Comic is a beast. And once we tame the beast, it will be a majestic pony."
Nice.
So
I'm a pony.
He's like, so that is what we're working on. But if this was easy, everyone would do it.
Hitch it to the wagon and pull.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And
so that is the thing that we're running into.
But the bottom line, though, is with Genesis Crew, our motto has always been start something, and that's the reason why that we had that motto is because everybody wants to talk about it, everybody wants to complain about it, everybody wants to lament the fact that these platforms are doing the whole censorship thing. And it's like, oh, woe is us, we're going to have to get our own plugins and separate all these little, websites that are not connected anymore and lose that matrix that made this community so special. And yet here these guys they're saying, okay, we're going to dare, we're going to start something, we're going to create something that's brand new, but it's going to be able to handle everybody. And so, for those of you guys that are taking pot shots at Luke right now, or not backing his project because, quote, Fund My Comic was supposed to come out in January and it didn't. Fund My Comic is coming.
It is coming, yeah.
And this is not on Luke. This is just the reality of creating any platform out there, especially one to this scale. This is not a plug-in. Okay,
Yeah.
This is not like just a casual little thing that is got vulnerability because some parent company can just get some woke tard saying, this comic is istrophobe, and well, okay, you can no longer use our plugin. This has no vulnerabilities like that.
None
and it's going to be
whatsoever.
It's going to be on the boxes.
Dude,
it's going to be
so needed, man.
Yeah, and and this is going to, because we're setting up a parallel economy. Okay, we're going to have to, because it's just going to get worse before it gets better.
I mean, the canary and the Coleman was Mike Barron, and I'm not calling Mike Barron a canary, but dude, the thing that somebody called like Prime Rib Rainbow or something made an article calling him a Yahtzee, and then he got canceled in Kickstarter, Indiegogo, even in the other one, Crowdfunder from Canada.
Yeah,
like a small one that shouldn't be like playing that game. They kicked
and his lead character was Hispanic.
Yeah, dude.
His lead character is Hispanic.
Dude, I interviewed Mike Barron from a Latino perspective, and I asked him a very, very important question. Why did you chose his nationality to be Cuban instead of Mexican? And he told me exactly what I wanted to hear. Cubans, as opposed to every other country in Latin America, have real communism, and they do value living in America. And that's
Cubans hate communism.
And that's something that you only know if you do your research.
Right.
Brazil, like everybody talks like, oh my God, like Cuba is like the bastion of communism, but Brazil has a huge communism problem with Lula da Silva and all those guys.
Yeah.
And dude, like you need to be here to know about that. So to then call him like Mike Barron a racist or whatever, like dude, this reporter was an idiot or is an idiot.
They had an agenda to push.
Yeah.
They don't like that
by
Mike
the way,
Barron.
they got a smut book, blatantly violating every rule that Kickstarter has, and nobody can get Kickstarter to even say boo to it.
It's almost like a middle finger to Mike and this whole thing, and
it's the reality
it angers me.
That we're facing. It's the reality we're facing.
Which is the reason why we're working on Fund My Comic.
Yeah.
We had high hopes to launch this thing in 3 months from conception to launch. And we realized, I don't think that we're going to be able to do that. So it is coming. And like you said, Bunny, it's not a plug-in. We're not using anybody else's stuff. Part of the holdup was making sure we had the legal language in place with the banks so that nobody's money could be held hostage. So that no one could be forced into censorship. It's not an easy task, guys. And so please bear with us. It is coming. It is happening. But in the meantime, we still have books to make. Yeah. We are still going to keep producing books. Hybrids is now on its 9th issue. I'm beginning its 10th issue. But we have 2 full trades. And we have 2 quick plays. A continuation of the first one. And then we've got the full manual that's coming out. And everything is going to be ready to print, and that's really what we're raising money for, is to print it. We're going to, whatever we make, whatever we raise, we're going to print over to a certain number of books, and then if there's some profit, Nick and I might have enough to go out to dinner after it's all said and done. But that's only if we raise above the $2,500 that we need. That is the bare minimum for printing. We are doing a flexible goal, which means we're going to print this book no matter what. It just depends on how much money Luke has to put in it out of savings to make this happen. So that's what we're doing. But one of the things we understand is that this is a big step into a project if you've never experienced the Hybrids book before. Nerium's on book 2. You're getting, 100 and almost over 150 pages of content from Nerium. And because they're 2 large books. Yeah. This you're getting, again, 2 large, 100 44 plus pages in both from each book. So there's a lot of content that we have here. And we understand jumping in at $25 a graphic novel can be quite a lot, especially with the financial uncertainty that we have.
The times we're living, yeah.
Right. And a $35 core rule book, that's a lot. And so what we want to do is we've tried to lower the prices to those to as bare minimum as we can and to get by with. All right. Because we're just paying for the printing, and any profits are going into more printing up to a certain number, like I said. So Nick and I had a discussion yesterday, and we decided that we wanted to let everyone try out, you know, like that Coke commercial. I have to try it first, that guy.
Yeah.
So we wanted you guys to be able to try it out. So we're giving you issue 1 and issue 2 as a free as a PDF. I can't say free. We were going to make it completely free for download. And then the quick play is now available as a PDF, and then the quick play player's guide is a small little companion that is a PDF that you can download. You've always been able to download. So you get all 4 of those for a $1 donation. Okay? The reason why we did that is because we're asking you to help us with the algorithms. Okay? When you pledge $1, I'm going to go ahead, and I see that we've got one person that's pledged that already. I'm going to go ahead, and at the end of the broadcast, I'm sending you the link to the Google Drive folder that these files are in, so that you can access them right away. Okay? That way you can see if you want to jump in with one of the other tiers. But we ask you, hit that $1, get these PDFs, give it a shot. But that $1, what it does is it creates backers. Now, yeah, it lowers my per packer dollar amount. But what it does is it tells Indiegogo that people are visiting the site and backing it. And that causes an algorithm boost. So this is an algorithm buster for us. We're going to have that built in a different way on Fund My Comic. But this is a natural way for us to give you some PDFs. So it gives us your information securely. And you get all of this stuff, but it also helps us in our campaign by helping give us more views and put us a little higher in the search ratings. So we do ask that you can do that. If you have someone if you're a fan of the Hybrids content and you've already been a part of it, I ask that you do this and just send them the link to the free PDFs so that they can get a shot at it. Nick and I believe in what we're doing so much that we believe if you read the first 2 issues and play that quick play with your friends, that you're going to be back. You're going to be back for more because we really believe in what we're doing. And so we're trying to pack all of the stuff that we've got in the 2 trade volumes and the game with as much value as we possibly can. So we do ask that you check that out and do that. You can go to hybridsrpg.com and access it, or hybridscomic.com and access it. It sends you directly to the campaign. So if you put either one of those in your browser, you'll get that. And then we've also got other things that are great values in there. The highest thing that we're, besides original art, that we've got is the Ultimate Bundle for $100, which has everything, and that's at a 13% discount. But you can also get both Arrow Comics Bundle 1 and Bundle 2, which is also available over on the Chrome Dog campaign. You can get both of those. So Bundle 1 has all of our kind of Season 1 books, and Bundle 2 has all of our Season 2 books, basically. And we'll be working on figuring out what Bundle 3 is going to be here very soon. Because we will be on Amazon. We're already approved, and we have a store. We're just loading up product to sell right now. So Arrow Comics will be on Amazon.com. So, yay! Yeah, not everybody all at once now.
Yay!
I already listened to, and I actually gonna give a shot to that $1 in order to the PDF. I know it's not much, but
Yeah, it's not much,
I want to check
but
it
it does help us, and it allows and it gives people a chance to check it out because we believe in it. And these are the remastered versions of issue 1 and issue 2, so you can see the updates that we made. We no longer have the not Arrow version of these books available. They are all gone. So if you find them somewhere, it's not officially ours. So that's what we got going on there. But yeah, check that out. We're at 12 backers right now. I do appreciate that. And we are at 13 backers. Thank you. So we do appreciate you doing that. Also, let's go back here and check out Bonds. Bonds is at 83 backers. Let's see where we're at now with Bonds. Bonds is at 85 backers, which means we've put a little bacon
wrap.
We wrapped it a little bit, yeah.
Thank you, Randy.
So thank you guys for checking this out. I am going to back it, but I'm not going to back it on air.
Had to get both of the books. Can't wait to read it.
And the reason why I'm not going to back it on air is because then you guys will see my personal information.
Yeah.
And I do not care to dox myself or to share my credit card information. So I will back it. I can do it like this. Here we go. We'll remove the screen so that I could back the project.
There you go.
And yeah, this is going to be at the...
And while you're shopping, Luke, don't forget to buy the tier for Piper.
Right, yeah.
Don't forget
Look, I
Piper.
love Piper. But I don't know if I'm going to buy her $170 tier.
That's okay.
She's paid up so far, I think. So yeah, it is definitely a great campaign. Check it out, and I think you'll love it. Indiegogo will ask for a tip. Just put down their other, and type in a big fat 0, because Indiegogo. Now here's how we're going to run that. We're going to ask you for a tip. It's not going to be automatic. You're going to have to choose to do that, but it's going to be a booster, right? So if you tip the website with this booster, the money goes to the website because we're only asking a 2% platform fee, which is insanely low. There's still the 3% from bank transactions, but give me the credit card details, Luke. I can do it for you. Someone asked a question earlier. What's the process for setting up on Amazon store? Well, maybe another time we'll get into that. You got to have all your business information, and they've got to verify your identity. You've got to do some live streaming with them with a video call. They have to mail you some stuff that has secret codes in it so that you can verify your address. It's kind of an ordeal, but it makes me feel very secure about their process.
I think it's easier to set up a store on Walmart.com.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It is, but it's not. I messed up, so they've banned me. Because I moved, and so my company moved, and my EIN moved and everything, and so now they won't let me. They blocked my account, so I can't set it up. So I'm gonna have to have Randy do it because my EINs won't work or anything. My tax stuff won't
save
work.
it to the list, Randy.
And I love working with Walmart. Man.
Right.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head
Sarcasm.
out. I got duties.
Yeah, I wrote it in the private chat some while ago. I'm so very sorry. It's the wrongest time ever.
Yeah.
Pedro, get a hold of
It's
me
all
at
right.
your convenience. We'll talk about what we talked about off the air.
Yeah, I'll write you a DM. So nothing but love, guys. Nerium, the book looks awesome. And Luke,
Bye, guys.
the game is awesome. I love you all. See ya.
Yeah. See you, buddy. Yeah, we've been at this for a minute now.
And then there were 4. Yeah.
And then there were 4. We are processing that payment. We just bacon wrapped it a little bit more there.
Okay, I'll wait a little bit.
Oh, something went wrong. What went wrong? I forgot to click something. Remember this address.
I had to go in about 3
my
times
phone
and
number.
make additions. Yeah.
Sometimes it does that to Indiegogo. Apparently, it doesn't like when a campaign is being backed a lot.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
I've had that
So,
happen a couple of times where I bought from Indiegogo, but it didn't register. So irritating.
Just something went wrong
really
again.
do have to apologize, guys. I need to dip out as well because we are like 2 sick people over here, and I kind of need to take care of
I
that.
understand that. Yeah.
I'm
Take
so
care of that.
sorry.
Yeah, we're gonna be shutting this thing down because we're at 3.5 hours.
Thanks for showing off your book.
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Thank you,
Yeah, it looks
thank
awesome.
you for having me
Can't
on, and
wait
I'm
to see it.
so sorry that I came late.
It's all right. We
Oh,
still have
no,
quite
you're
a.
more than fine.
Yeah, you're more than
Have a
fine.
good one.
Today was a weird day. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you
classed
very
up the
much.
joint. You
Thank you,
classed up the
Victor.
joint for sure.
Yes.
Have a good one.
Take
Bye,
care.
bye.
Everybody. Oh,
See ya. There's all your information right there.
that's what I'm trying not to show off.
That's what you're trying not to show.
That's what I'm trying not to show.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. We might have to go back and re-edit that.
Oh well. Thank you for saving me on that one. Yeah, it won't let me back for some reason. It doesn't like it.
Yeah, like I said, I had to go in a couple of times and fill in more information that I thought was there. That
Yeah, that's crazy.
wasn't.
I'll take
Yeah.
care of that off the air. But yeah, so definitely check that out, and then yeah, help us out over here on the Hybrids Kickstarter. We need the help, and also be sure to check out Justin Sweet's campaign over on Indiegogo as well for Chrome Dog issue 1. It's going to be great. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I want to thank you guys for kind of holding down the fort while I was having issues.
That was all Nick. Don't let us outside of T Bunny coming in and rescuing our ass.
Yeah, that's Nick. Nick is awesome.
That's all Nick. So
Yeah, Nick is a true brother and a great partner. And so let's make this game successful for him. We're going to try a lot of different outlets.
Just
for
so
making
you
sure this
know,
thing gets out.
they've clipped me snoring, so that's going to show up again. So
there we
Oh,
are.
has that been clipped?
yeah, it's been
That
clipped.
dude, it was so funny. I was like, what is that sound? I
You
was
know
looking
the
around
Genesis
my room.
crew isn't going to let that go. So.
No, they're not going to let that go. I was looking
No.
around the room. I was like, what's going on? And then I realized I saw you you were like out. I'm like, oh man, we got him. Yeah.
We've been attacked overhead, all sorts of stuff going on. So.
Yeah,
I
it's
had,
funny.
to, I had to run out. I had to run out and get my Amazon package in a mailbox, even though there's 4 inches of snow and a half of inch of ice on the ground. They delivered. So
There you go.
They will do it. They will
even
get it
some
to
research material.
Yeah. So
Goal to conquer.
yeah, we're probably going to send our books out and let Amazon do the fulfillment. Is what it looks like I'm going to do. So Amazon will actually fulfill it, so you can get it Prime.
That too.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on. Arrow.
Oh, it's getting
Randy,
crazy.
do you want to talk about it for a second before we leave?
No, it's getting crazy. I got a video up there. If you look at the Arrow Comics YouTube channel, that kind of catches you up to date, barely. Though there are a couple of more titles that we've picked up since I did the video, and looks like we'll be picking up a couple of more as we go along. It's just going to, it's like a snowball running down the hill, which makes me incredibly happy because that's what Ralph told me to do, is take the brand and run with it.
I love
That's
that.
what we're doing. We're just going to grow it up and grow it out as far as it'll possibly go. And we'll look for those extra other distribution systems at the same time.
Right.
So, and we'll have we'll look like a unified front. Here's all this material that we can, if you need,
I mean,
come
I
up
love
with a
that
good
we're able
deal,
to.
we can distribute,
I love that we're able to manage the Amazon connection.
Well, I've even got your mascot for you. William Tell.
Oh, you're funny. Yeah. I thought our mascot was Spank the monkey, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah,
Well,
I love Spank.
He's a little like not NFTS there,
He's not safe for work yet.
Coming soon. Got a couple of books on the list.
Spank the monkey on the comic market.
See, Spank the monkey at the
is so
casinos
great.
coming soon too. So we'll see how
Spank
that
the monkey on casinos.
at the casinos. Yeah,
At the casinos. You can get arrested for that. You know that, right?
of course.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, guys. T Bunny, what do you got
Don't
going
spank
on?
your monkey in public, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T Bunny, do you got anything going on you want to let the viewers know about?
Tonight, What's the Story is going to do Joan of Arc. We're going to talk about the Maid of Orleans, the little teenage girl who heard these voices and actually took over the French army and pushed back the English for a pretty significant little while there. supposedly never raised a sword in her life, and was able to inspire people to. And then she even got called an arrow in the middle of a battle and managed to stay in the fight. So, you
Wow.
want to talk about girl boss? You want to talk about powerful female? That was one.
Yeah.
And so she won over Boudica, Queen of the Celts, and Eowyn, the Shield Maiden of the Rohirrim, and the actual Mulan, not the Disney-fied version. And,
Yeah, the real one.
The real
and that
one.
real one's very interesting.
Hell of a story. A story. Yeah. And no, she didn't just absolutely come in and slay. Okay, Queen slay, but yeah. I'm so that's what we're doing. We're trying to tell these stories of these people, real people, fictional characters. We're treating them all the same, and we're just telling the story, telling them like they're characters, and we're kind of like giving an equivalency. We're also putting out cards of each one and giving them like a rating on the back of the card. So you have like actual human, actual like Audie Murphy, like maxed out and fighting ability. Okay, if we had an 11, we would have given him 11. But it's just kind of like that. But that's tonight at 7:00. My co-host is Todd from Redshift Comics, the Todd father, and maybe Tank will be able to be there. He's having a bacterial infection, so he's been under the weather. So, but that's tonight 7:00 on the Telepathic Bunny channel. I hope somebody shows up. It's a great show. It's one of my favorite.
7:00 tonight, right?
7:00 EST.
Right.
So feel free to show up.
Yep. Randy, anything else that you want people to know?
Indie Comics Network, folks, tomorrow morning, 5 a.m., Comics by Night, then Sunday morning at 9 a.m. We'll be doing Sunday Funnies. And if you're in the Detroit area this weekend, I know the weather's real crappy, but Friday night and Saturday, I will be at the Great Lakes Comic Con. It's only a 2-day show, and they're not running on Sunday. But Friday night from 5 to 9 in the evening, and then Saturday, I think it's from 10 to 6. I'll be there as Arrow Comics selling Arrow books. So swing by and say hello and say hi. We're at the Macomb Community Civic Center, I believe. It's on the community college campus. So the Great Lakes Con's a great show, and you'll have a lot of fun, even if you don't see me there. So try to attend if you can.
Yeah.
And Chris Scalf will be there as well.
Oh, really? Chris Scalf is an amazing artist.
Yes, he is.
Actually,
he doesn't do shows very often. So.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's done. If you see the very beautiful painted work on the Hybrids campaign, that's Chris's art.
The cover for Revolt. The cover for Revolt #1 is also by Chris.
Yep.
And that card set, that great card set's all Chris too.
Yep, all Chris. Amazing artist. So, guys, I'm not going to end this traditionally because today has not been traditional.
We can't be careful out there today.
We're not being careful out there today. In fact, today's a circus. I have no idea what it's going to be like. So, guys, do the best you can. Try it Nick's way, and if Nick's way don't work, use the Luke solution.
Wake up choosing violence.
Right.
Make sure you go to arrowcomics.store as well. It's right there.
Go to arrowcomics.store and go to
hybridsrpg.com. hybridsrpg.com.
No, we're gonna play something else.
Make sure you subscribe to the Arrow Comics YouTube channel too.
Yeah, check out that out. Check all those videos. Use code NERD10 for 10% off of your Gemini order.
Yep.
Because we know you need those. All right, guys. Just try to get by today, and we will see you next week. I might do a draw stream later this week. Do this weekend. I don't know. I'm trying to make my rounds with promotion, but we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. We love you guys. You make waking up on Thursday morning worthwhile. You really do. So have a good day, and I will leave you with this. Let's just go ahead and destroy all of our copyrights with this.
Take care.
Phenomena. 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 Phenomena.